Visa wants to know, where would you like to be? Whether you're a super fan or just in it to win your league, Visa knows we want to spend less time standing in line and more time pursuing our passions. That's why for over 60 years, Visa has been adding innovative plays to the way we pay. From tapping to pay to getting paid in 30 minutes or less, they're giving businesses and consumers more tools to do just that. They know that every Visa transaction is a promise, whether it's a street vendor in front of the stadium or picking up the latest NFL gear online. Visa wants to provide us with the most secure and easy payment experience possible, so everyone, everywhere, can get to where they'd like to be. Visa, everywhere you want to be. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and, Chef Shay today.
Chef
Good
Shay
morning, guys.
Old Tom Brady stopped by last night.
Time out.
What?
You picked the Patriots to win easily last night. You picked Aaron Rodgers to win easily at the Chargers, and your man LeBron James stunk it up at San Antonio. Stunk it up. Went 0 for 6 from 3 and 5 of 10 from the free throw line, and really stunk it up in the fourth quarter last night.
Did we win? Yes or no? Let me help.
What are we doing?
Well, last night, Tom.
What is the point?
Okay, well, let me. I'm gonna tell you the point. Tom wanted to come in last night, so I had fresh ales, but I had them Oscar style. Ooh. Yeah, them things were good. He said, "Give me all you got, Shay." Oh, Chef Shay.
I'm so embarrassed for my brother. He's one of the top chefs in America. He's a two-time James Beard Award winner and owns the restaurant in Chicago where Obama says it's his favorite. And I got to deal with Chef Shay on my show.
Yeah, I'm a beard.
Chef Shay.
I'm a three-time beard winner.
Oh, really?
James Harden beard
you
winner.
Shaved your beard.
All right.
Skip, how you doing today? Skip, how you doing?
Now I don't know. I thought I was okay, but
I'm not sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Given all of this, we still have a jam-packed Monday. How much is Baker to blame for the Brown season? And will Zeke get back to his all-pro form against the Giants tonight? But first, we start with Tom Brady and the Patriots. The New England defense was on a historic pace this season until they met Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, who literally ran all over them. Baltimore had over 200 yards on the ground, including 2 rushing touchdowns from Lamar. The Ravens QB also had 163 yards through the air and a passing touchdown. Tom Brady had nearly 300 yards and a touchdown, but couldn't keep up with the Ravens' high-powered offense in the 37-20 loss. After the game, Brady said, "To lose by 17 is not what the Patriots are about." Shannon, they paid you a visit, but what happened last night?
Skip, I think the Patriots got a wake-up call last night. We had been talking about it all year. And I never bought into this notion that they were historically a great defense. I said, Skip, they haven't really been playing anyone. The Jets and Miami and Washington. And if you look at the teams that they're playing, they aren't very good. The quarterbacks are even less good than the teams that they actually play for. I said, now it's going to be very interesting to see when they start playing teams that are better offensive, and the quarterbacks are better. And this is what happens. I had a front row seat to one of the historically great defenses. And there will come a time in which the defense will struggle, and then the offense needs to carry the weight. We played Jacksonville, I think the second game of the season, Skip, and we won 39-36. Defense just didn't have it that day. We were able, Tony Banks was offensive player of the week, threw for 5 touchdowns, no turnovers, and we won the game. And what I've told you before, this offense right now has just been riding. They have a front row seat like I had when I was on the Ravens team. They've been riding. They haven't been carrying their weight, and you saw that front and center last night. The Ravens go out 7-0. Tom Brady gets the ball, bloop, bloop, 3 and out. Go around again, 14-0. Tom Brady, 3 and out. The Ravens had 17 points. The Patriots had 3 punts and a first down. Now, I'm trying to figure out, now somehow, I got a feeling this is going to come back on Coach Belichick's defense. But I just want to know, when the Ravens scored 7 points and they kicked the ball to Tom Brady, What was he doing? What did he do? He did absolutely nothing.
My turn? Oh.
No, it's not your turn just yet, Skip. I just got started. I'm 2 minutes in.
Well, you're just a chef. What do you know?
He is so much more.
Look, they came to my restaurant last night. You should be glad I opened up for them. Normally, I send them away, but I was...
Your restaurant went out of business a long time ago.
We're back in business.
Yeah. You pick lots of losers.
We were in renovation, Skip. We had to get some renovations. Look, Skip, I'm shocked that the Ravens' bread and butter, the way, and Coach Belichick, Skip, he's built his backbone, he's built his reputation. What do you do best? I'm taking it away, and if you beat me with plan B, I can live with that, but plan A is obsolete. Skip, the Ravens got what they want running the football. They had the ball over 37 minutes to 22 minutes for the Patriots. That's unheard of. The Ravens had 2 possessions in the second half. 2, Skip, and they had the ball for almost 18 minutes. An 8.5-minute drive, a 9.5-minute drive, and a kneel down at the end of the game. And the Patriots could not do anything with them. It's going to come a point, Skip, and because the Patriots are not this dynamic offense, you run out of opportunities. You can't keep going 11 plays, 12 plays. They don't have big play capabilities. And now they're not running the football the way we saw them, Skip, run it the last half of last year and into the playoffs. They're not that team, Skip. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if y'all think Tom Brady is that same Tom Brady from 3 or 4 years ago, you're sadly mistaken.
You're sadly mistaken, but when is it my turn?
Take it away.
Is that it?
Oh,
thank you.
On that note.
Now the show starts. Last night, before America, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens exposed the many, many flaws that the New England Patriots already had. In fact, I believe they were the most flawed 8-0 team this league might have ever seen because we couldn't really see the flaws until last night. And I got to compliment Nick Boyle, the tight end for the Ravens, because he took a shot last week and he was right and he backed it up because he said, that defense has not seen anything yet like our offense, and he was dead on right. And usually, anybody on the opposition who dares to take a shot at the New England Patriots going into the game,
eat those words.
He eats it.
Yeah.
Tom Brady makes him eat it, even though Tom Brady doesn't play, obviously, on defense.
Correct.
But somehow the whole Patriots rise up and say, watch this. It felt like he was the backup tight end, though he started most of their games. And he played well, and they played great. So what did we start seeing a week ago, even though it was dismissed as it was in a driving rainstorm at Foxborough? We saw Nick Chubb get off. He got loose.
He did.
Didn't he?
He did.
For 132 yards and 159 total.
Yeah.
Right? That the Browns ran for. That was the beginning of what was about to happen. And then what did we see last night in the first half? We saw the Baltimore Ravens run for 155 yards in the first half against that defense that was on historic pace, right?
Well, we tried to warn them.
Not anymore. Not anymore. 155 yards, heading for 210 total rush yards. What? 210 total rush yards? They went, thanks large part to Lamar Jackson, who was phenomenal last night. They went 5 of 10 on third down and 1 of 1 on a key fourth down in the late in the third quarter. And that added up to what you referred to, 37 minutes of time of possession. So Brady only had the ball for 23 minutes. That's a good way to beat New England.
Right.
And what did we see right out of the box? First drive of the Baltimore Ravens, it gets down to a field goal because they finally buckled up and stopped them. And there's an offsides penalty, an encroachment penalty. I'm not sure who was at fault. They didn't really name him. But you ever see a Belichick team do that?
No, it was.
You don't do that. Whoever it was, I figured he was going to get cut by halftime, right?
He might be on the waiver wire this afternoon.
He might be. And then we saw Julian Edelman do what he's often done, which is scratch and claw for an extra couple of yards, and he didn't quite take the football along for the ride, and it bounces on the turf, and it was Baltimore's night, and it's one hop right up to Marlon Humphrey, and he is off to the races.
Marlon Humphrey's playing his tail off.
Hey, he did. In fact, he's starting to rival Stephon Gilmore as the best cornerback,
because he's
right?
traveling.
And he took Edelman a lot. He said after the game, I did have some help on some plays. We doubled him some, but he made it hard on Julian
And then
Edelman.
when they started going to Sanu, he jumped over on Sanu.
Did he? Whew, he was all over the field. But that was, you gave him 4 points on the offsides on the field goal.
First possession,
and then
correct.
you gave him 7 points on the Edelman
Stupid
play.
score.
Okay, so that's 11 points that a Patriot team rarely gives to the opponent, especially on the road. If you give Baltimore 11 points, what's probably going to happen?
you're probably
going to lose that game at Baltimore, because we know Baltimore's a very good team and has been pretty good
Especially at home.
Now, let's go, shall we, to the flaws on the Patriots offense. The Patriots cannot run the football as opposed to the Baltimore Ravens. They just can't run it, and they haven't really been able to run it all year.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So they grand totaled 74 yards last night, and can you tell me what Sony Michel did? Your man from University of Georgia, what did he do last night? He remained in a slump in the doghouse.
Skip, he only had 4 attempts.
4 carries for 18 yards, and one of those went for 10 yards. So do the math on the other 3. He is going nowhere. Slowly is Sony Michel, and it ended up being James White was their leading rusher with, 30-some yards?
9 for 38.
Okay, way to go. So that's the first problem for Tom Brady. And the second problem is, obviously, there's no Gronk. And obviously, there's no AB. And obviously, there's now no more Josh Gordon. And I thought there were reports on Friday that N'Keal Harry, their first-round pick, receiver out of Arizona, who I think is a flat-out stud, some reports that he was preparing to play last night.
Right.
Did not happen. He's been on IR for the first half of the year. So you don't even have N'Keal Harry last night, but you did have Mohamed Sanu. What am I seeing so far from Sanu, who I've not watched closely over the last couple of years? He's been very good, but now suddenly he's sort of going to be the featured receiver.
Right.
What did you see last night? I saw just another possession receiver with no real ability. No burst to separate, right? No burst.
He's a smaller Josh Gordon.
He looked like a smaller Josh Gordon. He looked like a less quick Julian Edelman, right?
Yeah.
And again, Tom had pretty good rapport with him, and he threw him a bunch of balls.
He did.
He caught a bunch of balls, but he never really threatened or hurt the Baltimore defense. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's still pretty much Edelman or bust, with an occasional throw to Philip Dorsett or to James White. Brady threw one nice ball up the rail. Up the boundary. Okay, and so that's all you got. And now you remain without your left tackle, Isaiah Wynn, and without your center, James Andrews. And all of a sudden, they could not protect Brady, and he has nobody who can really threaten the defense. So what did Baltimore say? What did Wink Martindale say? You can't run it, so we are going to run after you, Tom Brady. We are going to come after you every which way but loose. We're coming from everywhere. Blitzing, Earl Thomas got in the blitz package. He was all over Tom Brady. And we know, especially at age 42, heck, at age 22, Tom Brady was not mobile, right?
No.
So he cannot escape that kind of pressure.
Right.
If you give him time, he'll pick you to pieces. And they did have one run through the third quarter where they went no huddle.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it looked like they were starting to wear down and wear out the Baltimore defense and keep them off balance enough they couldn't substitute, and it was harder to throw in your blitz packages because you just have to play your base defense, whatever it is, because he's coming right after you. And he got on a pretty good roll. So now we get to 3 crucial plays. Early fourth quarter, after he's on a good drive, he's completed passes of 4, 11, 3, and 9. So he's moving fairly well here. You can say it's a lot of dink and dunk, but that's pretty much his receiving core. Okay. So now it gets to be 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 48. And he throws maybe his worst ball of the night to Sanu. If we could see this, please. To Sanu, and it's behind him, and it's almost picked. It's almost picked.
It should have been picked.
Okay? So that's the first hint of, uh-oh. And then Brady gets angry in a good way on the next play. And what does he do? He throws the ball of the night, his best pass of the night, right up the seam to Benjamin Watson, and hits him right in the hands, and he drops it. And Tom Brady is furious because that's a field goal right there. And I'm going to remind everybody at this point in the game, it's only 30-20. So if you catch that ball, it's going to be maybe 30-23.
Skip, he could have gave him a better ball.
I thought that was a great ball.
Skip, Marcus Peterson.
Oh, that's it. That hit him right there.
Skip, Marcus Peterson is playing 2-by-1. Give him a better ball.
You can't throw it any better than that.
Yes, you can.
That's his best ball of the night. I'm sorry. That's big time Brady.
If that's his best ball of the night, that explains why you lost by 17.
Which led to, you could argue, his worst worst ball of the night. Tom Brady threw a mad ball.
Yeah.
He just got frustrated and sick and tired of no protection and nobody getting open. He said, watch this. I'm just going to fling this as far as I can because he thought Sanu was going to break stronger to the end zone, and Sanu kind of pulled up, and so he just cuts loose in the face of another on-rusher, and he throws a punt right to Earl Thomas. Just threw a punt right to Earl Thomas, and that is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, because after that, here comes Lamar Jackson on a long, a 14-play drive for the touchdown,
Yeah.
Sure.
and the defense just could not deal with Lamar and company.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now you know what it's like to be Patrick Mahomes when your defense gives up 30-plus points.
You know what?
And no matter how well you play,
Glad you
there's
brought that
nothing
up.
you can do.
Because with Matt Moore at quarterback, that defense is playing its
This ain't
tail
about
off.
Matt Moore.
I know, but that you just brought it up.
What about your guy?
So all of a sudden, it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs said, we got to raise our level. We can't just wait on him to make some, all-time
Okay, so
great play.
Okay, when the offense is going to raise their level in New England?
Interesting.
When is the offense going to carry their weight?
No run game, no left tackle or center, nobody who can separate in the receiving corps, no N'Keal Harry, no Gronk. And I'm waiting. Is Gronk, you know what? Tom Brady's probably on the phone as we speak to Gronk saying, we got 2 weeks to prepare for our next game. We got to buy. Gronk, you got to come save me. I was with you all those years. You got to come back and help me.
Whoa, Skip.
He needs somebody
So
to throw
now we want
to.
this. Eric Fisher, the left tackle's out for Kansas City. The right guard, the left guard. Everybody gets to miss, but Tom Brady needs all his pieces.
All those guys are out, and Matt Moore did that.
He'd a go.
Wow.
Well, go.
He's eating, man. He actually played pretty
No,
well
he
last
didn't.
night.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
He did. No,
Stop
he did.
it. Hold on. You mean to tell me on his first 3 possessions, he had 1 first down while the Ravens had 17 points?
They're all over him. No quarterback. Patrick Mahomes would have been in big trouble last night with that kind of lack of protection.
Jenny, now we're going to talk about this. Now, remember you said that they were all over him. Now, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers in a little bit. Now, I want that energy. That energy you just had right there, they were all over him.
Rodgers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he was the MVP. I thought he was a transcendent.
I know who's not the MVP.
Yesterday.
But how about this here? Last night, Tom Brady, 6.2 yards attempt. That would be the equivalent of Sam Darnold, who would be dead last in the NFL. That's what he is. He is a dink and dunk
Aaron
check
Rodgers
down guy.
had a 4 yards per attempt. 4 yards? Wait a minute. Aaron Rodgers had the worst QBR in football yesterday.
Tom Brady. We'll get to Aaron Rodgers. We'll get to him.
I know, but you always change the subject and say, what about this?
No,
what about this?
Ain't no what about. What about your guy?
So
looking like the 10 man.
Wait a second.
Oil him up. He needs some WD-40.
Wait a minute.
He need to oil up, Jenny.
Tom Brady had a QBR of 53. Aaron Rodgers had the lowest of the whole weekend. He had a 14,
if you don't mind me asking.
14 for
He had
Aaron
a 53.
Rodgers?
If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
what did that get him?
Yeah.
A 17-point L. Now, you keep telling me, and he threw another interception.
Threw one mad ball.
I don't know what it was. I know it was an Earl Thomas ball.
Yep.
So, Skip Bayless, at some point in time, you see what happens is that anytime you critique his game, it's almost like you're trying to take away what he's already accomplished in the past. That's not what I do. You might have got to...
I didn't say anything about his past. No. I'm talking about his future.
This is the way I do it.
Yeah.
You might have gotten an A in trigonometry. You might have got an A in advanced calculus.
I never took any of those classes.
But you're in history now.
Yeah.
And what you going to do in this class?
I made A's every history class I ever took.
Yeah, I'm the history guy.
I'm the history guy.
Yeah,
but you got what's Skip Bayless?
English history. I was a double major. English.
I believe that.
You know what's Skip Bayless?
Well,
since you know history, you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
This is not going to end well.
Really?
This is not going to end
guess
well.
What I heard all last year about history. I heard you week after week after week after week on this show say, he's finished. He's washed up. He's an old man. He's got to just say, this is it. I'm packing it in after this year. Do you remember what happened last year? In week 2, they lost at Jacksonville 31-20. These are the Patriots. Week 3, they turned right around and got embarrassed at Detroit 26-10. Do you remember that one? Week 10 at Tennessee, they lost 34-10. What was the score last night? 37-20, 34-10 at Tennessee. Which is more embarrassing? I don't know. Maybe the one at Tennessee was more embarrassing. Then they turn around in week 14, and thanks to the Miami miracle, they blow the game. Belichick blew the game at Miami, and they turned right around the next week and lost to Pittsburgh. Okay. And that team, I don't know how, it won the Super Bowl.
If you don't mind me asking, when is Gronk coming through that door?
Well, I just told you maybe in the next week or so.
I had
You were just with him.
I had to sit down.
Yeah.
Gronk is in no position to play football.
Okay.
No.
A lot of things going to have to change with his body. It's mainly like getting back into the weight room.
Okay.
And lifting some heavy iron. But Skip.
Well, you don't know. Maybe he'll be a wide receiver this time.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you that desperate, Skip?
Yeah. I got nobody.
Skip, the thing is that when the Ravens are running the football like they are, you know the possessions are going to be minimal. Because you don't have big play, quick strike capabilities, it's taking you 11 plays. So now your 11 plays compounded with their 14, their 15, their 13 plays, all the times off the clock, you're already down. Skip, this game, you know you were heading for a 45-7 game without those 3 turnovers. You know what this was heading. You know what this was heading.
I don't know about 45-7.
Skip, this is about to be over. The Ravens' offense was in that rhythm, and I don't know what Cyrus was thinking.
Cyrus Jones.
I don't know what he was thinking. He's trying to field the ball. He's on the right, and he's trying to field over. Come on, bro. You know you got to get up under the ball. You stop trying to be that Deion. That Deion would catch the ball all over here and catch the ball up here like somebody threw him a pass. Bro, stop that. And then Mark Ingram turned the ball over, gave him short fields. That's how they got it, Skip. Short fields. But when they had to drive, and Skip, you saw at the end of the game, Wink Martindale, he up there with the defense.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see this drip. He did that for you, because you drilled Bayless. He said, let me see this. Let y'all.
I noticed.
And you know what? He deserved it.
Hey, and then he hit Jenny. He pulled the chain out so everybody could see.
He did.
And then hit him with that piece.
Oh,
He did.
the confidence.
Oh! I said, Wink, don't do him like
it.
that, Wink. Skip.
I love
Y'all in a heap of trouble.
Y'all?
Y'all in a heap of
I'm
trouble.
just a Brady.
No. I can't let you off the hook like that. Because you tell me, I say I'm a LeBron fan. No, you got to be with Cleveland. No, you got to be with the Lakers.
So I want to remind everybody that Chef Shea predicted 27-17 Patriots last night, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe you didn't see the flaws. I certainly didn't see them because I said 30-14
Skip,
Patriots.
I saw the flaws, but I also had no idea. Skip, we've never seen anything. Coach Belichick normally, when we saw after they won the Super Bowl, after they beat Atlanta, and we saw Kansas City go in there, Skip, we didn't know Hunt could do what he did.
Okay.
And so he caught him off guard.
By the way, let's put this in perspective. So let's go back to 2014, September 29th.
Right.
They went to Kansas City.
Right.
And they lost 41-14.
Right.
And they went on to beat Seattle in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then it was opening night of 2017.
Right.
Kansas City went to Foxborough, and it was it was 42-27 Kansas City. So they've had these things happen before.
But normally we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about Hunt, so we didn't know what type of back that he was. I think he was a third-round draft pick. But Skip, you know what the Ravens are. The Ravens want to run the football. They're going to run it with Ingram. They're going to run it with Lamar Jackson, and that's what they're going to do. This other guy, Edwards. Skip, that's what they're going to do. And for Coach Belichick to allow that to happen, now, Skip, Lamar Jackson is different. He doesn't look that fast, but he's slithery. And when he steps through a crack, Skip, he's over. I mean, I've never seen anybody accelerate. You talk about your boy Kyler can accelerate. Skip, he put his foot in the dirt. He made one play, Skip. You know, they had him, and he got the ball. I don't like him holding the ball like a loaf of bread. He got it dangling all around. But he made up his mind and says, you know what? I'm finna get to the left. Skip, when he stepped through that crease,
he stepped. It was a whoosh.
It's hard for the cameras to catch him sometimes.
I agree. And by the way, speaking of Lamar, this is another Belichick note. Usually Belichick is all over the tiniest little detail.
Yes.
And it took NBC to point out that on pass plays last night, at least, Lamar was reaching behind him.
Drying his hands.
And so it was a tell. It was tipping your pitch, so to speak, right? So at least Belichick, if he was really breaking down the tape, or his two sons, Steve is now the new stealth defensive coordinator, right? And Brian is still on the staff, he's a younger assistant. But again, they're breaking down tape. They probably knew run or pass last night, and they still couldn't stop this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's the first time, because it was a little. That was the first night, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first night game, if I'm not mistaken, for the Ravens. And so it was a little damp. It's a little cold, so you want to make sure your hands. But I tell you what, if you do that again, Coach Belichick is going to know. Because Skip, because guess what? They're going to get that TV copy. And they want to hear all, because you get the TV copy because you want to hear his audibles, you want to hear the checks.
Sure.
And you also like, okay, so every time he puts his hand back here and does this, they're going to throw the football. But Skip, he threw the ball better than I thought. There are some times that he got down 3/4 and dropped the side angle. There are times that he went over the top. He threw the ball. I think he surprised Coach Belichick with how well he threw the ball.
I would agree.
But his running...
He doesn't throw it downfield that much. They're all what you would call dink and dunks, but they are deadly accurate dink and dunks.
And a couple of those, he hit Mark Ingram on a dead run in the flat and gave him an opportunity to turn up. And that's the difference, Skip. I mean, you could throw it low and the guy catch the ball, but he hit him dead stride up the sideline he was going.
Bottom line, do I think this is a very flawed team? I do. Maybe they don't have enough talent to fix it, but whatever they can fix in this 2 weeks now, they'll fix it.
They have the bye.
You want to go to the restaurant?
Yeah.
Billion.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, are you writing them off? Are you saying?
Skip, they're on the bye week. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk. I think we might talk about it one more time, and then I'm gonna let them have their peas. But I got to. But you know, Chef Shay. Back at it again, Oscar style. I do them L's Oscar style. And what I do is that I open them up on a hot flame, little butter. Ooh, you can have it how you want to. Oh. If you want that for a guar, you want hollandaise, so however you want it.
Whatever you need.
Yeah. I do. I serve a mean nail.
Oh, I just can't quite get comfortable how you celebrate your own losses.
Skip, let me be. Can I be a chef for a day?
Yeah, please do.
No mercy.
So the Browns found themselves down at 24-12 late in the fourth quarter in Denver. Baker Mayfield hit Jarvis Landry for his only touchdown of the day to bring it within 5. But on the Browns' next possession, Baker threw an incomplete pass to Jarvis in traffic on 4th down that led to Odell Beckham Jr. reportedly coming off the field saying, quote, "I can't get the ball to save my life." After the game, OBJ said he did not recall saying that. Baker finished the day with 273 passing yards and was sacked twice. The Browns have now lost 4 in a row. Shannon, how much is Baker to blame for the Browns' 2-6 record?
Skipper, you got to take the lion's share. He's the quarterback. The ball's in his hand. You know, he keep telling people, if you don't like the way I am, you got to deal with it. This is me. Okay? This is you. 2-6. This is you. And it's not good enough. Skip, I'm looking at this and you know, I think Odell is an unbelievable talent, and I think sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him. But Skip, throughout, and I think they're 2-6 now. Yeah. Odell has only 4 red zone targets in 8 games. Skip, that's not good enough. That's not nearly good enough. And you saw the play. Yep. It's almost like see, and this is what happens, Skip. When you make your mind up where you're going with the football instead of reading, because if he's reading that's a touchdown to Odell. But Freddie, you know, I'm gonna give you some of this blame too. At some point in time, Skip, you got to start. The thing that I love most about Coach Belichick, Skip, he does not let emotion dictate what call he's going to make. Take the field goal, Freddie. You had an opportunity for a field goal in the 3rd quarter, and then if you have an opportunity for a field goal in the 4th quarter, you kick the field goal, you got the lead. Now you make them go down and get a field goal or touchdown to beat you. But no, you want to go for it. You want to play hero. Skip. Trust me, as a football player, Skip, I always wanted to go for it. Hell, I don't care if it was 4th and 10. Let's go for it. Sure. Man, you got myself, John Elway, TD, Ed Rock. We got this. No, sometimes you got to be smart. And Freddie trying to get fired. And you know what? I believe John Dorsey and Jimmy and D. Haslam, they will oblige him in that. He's doing everything he can. But Skip, this is not Baker got to wear this one. Baker has to Skip. They ran 30 more plays. They had the ball 11 more minutes time of possession. And you catch an L against a guy that's starting for the very first time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put it on, Skip. I mean, it was like I'm looking at these numbers. The Broncos had 302 total yards. They were 3 of 9 on 3rd down. They had the ball 11 more minutes. Baker, you got to wear this one, bro. This you. All them commercials. Now, hopefully, you ought to tell them, say, look, guys, y'all need to stop running those commercials.
I would.
Because I look foolish.
I thought about that yesterday.
Skip, I look like a D-fool because here I am on every Sunday. Yeah. I got 4 or 5 national spots popping up, and I'm playing like Kapu.
He is not entertaining in his house. In the commercial, he entertains, but in the football game, he doesn't entertain, right?
How much longer this going to go on, Skip?
Oh, God. Progressive? No, he's not progressing, right?
Exactly.
Nope, sorry. It's hard to defend Baker Mayfield today, but I remain a Baker fan. I still believe in him long term. But I believe he was dealt a hand that no sophomore quarterback with like 20 different Progressive commercials could have overcome this second season in the NFL. I still think it all went south when they elevated a guy who had only called the plays for half a year in his whole career. And they elevated him not only to the play caller, they said, you're the head coach.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to talk about in over your head? So now he's become go for broke Freddie, right? He's going to go for it every time, even if it's 4th and 18 or whatever it was. Just go for it. Go for it, because that's how you establish your credibility in this league.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That's how you get fired in this league.
You know, I will not be shocked if he is terminated now.
I thought we could have some news. Yeah,
right?
You think
like
really?
Now,
I
like
really
this
do.
Week, maybe in the next 24 hours.
I wait.
I would not be shocked. The back half of their schedule is, I think it's ranked statistically second easiest.
Right.
But they're 2-6. Well, what are you going to do with that?
Buffalo next, yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo next.
Buffalo can play defense now, Skip.
I totally agree. So I'm seeing a Baker Mayfield who's not a hot mess. He's just a cold mess right now. And it's a team full of solo acts, starting with the quarterback. And it was cute last year. It was new, and he was the it kid.
Yep.
His jersey was just jumping off the shelves, right?
Yep.
Jumping off the racks. And yet, what did we see from Baker yesterday that was a little bit bizarre? He arrives at the game with the full beard. Then he comes out for kickoff. He'd shaved part of it down to the little goatee and the mustache, but it was a big mustache. Right. And then after the game, he had shaved a whole lot of the sides of the mustache, so he had a little mustache. Yeah. And he's wearing this bizarre oversized trench coat, and he looked pretty weird after the game.
Yeah.
You can insert joke here because they were all over Twitter.
Skip, we recognize him. We knew that was Baker Mayfield that walked in. That was him that stunk it up on the field. He tried to change like, y'all, they won't know who if I shave, they won't know it was me.
Oh,
that
it's
was
not.
weird.
Yeah,
Who was
exactly.
that guy playing quarterback? I don't know. I think it was Baker Mayfield. So he is going out of his way so far to show the world he will not favor or force the ball to number 13.
Right.
Odell. That's my friend Odell, but he's cool with me because we hang out.
Right.
Off the field. We hang out on weeknights. And he'll be fine. He'll be totally cool with it if I show everybody I'm not going to favor you by showing everybody we're close here. And I'm going to keep Jarvis and you happy to a fault. Won't work.
No.
Sorry.
Jarvis cannot get double the targets that Odell.
Yep.
Jarvis is a good receiver. Odell Beckham is a great receiver. Odell Beckham is a game changer. Yep. He's a guy that can bust the game wide open. That's not what Jarvis is a stick mover. He's a chain mover, Skip. This guy here, he can hit his head on the goalpost.
Yep.
And you must target him, give him his attempt. Like you go into the game, there are certain guys, the Julio Joneses, the Mike Evans, the Thielens, those guys, Skip, your top receivers, you go into the game, you got a chart that says, okay, I must get him somewhere between 8 and 10 targets a game. Yep. Skip, Odell, 6 targets. He got 5 catches, 87 yards. For Odell to come out of the game without 10 targets is unacceptable.
And reportedly, he left the field, walked off the field yesterday and said to nobody in particular, I can't get the ball to save my life.
He can't.
Okay? All right. So that was the first little shot, though it wasn't straight to the media, that he has taken at Baker. And I expected him to take one to the media after the game, but he did not, to his credit. And yet they got all kinds of other issues going on that are all little examples, little bits and pieces of what's really bigger wrong with this team, which is complete runaway, out of control dysfunction, right?
You get Skip, when you put a guy in a position that he's not used to being in, or maybe he shouldn't even be in that position, this is what you get. We're going to talk about the tweet that went out a little later.
We can mention it now. It was Jermaine Whitehead.
Oh, he got released.
Safety. And he got released today, so that's why I think maybe Freddie could be next. I don't know, but they might look at the schedules easy and they think he could,
But you know what? Here's the thing, though, Skip. Everybody else is looking at their schedule and say, hell, we got Cleveland. They're easy.
That's right. So here's a Jermaine Whitehead who's been on 4 teams in 5 years. He was undrafted out of Auburn, and he's starting at safety for the Cleveland Browns. Right. And he thinks they're all solo acts, so he thinks I can go to my locker right after the game ends. Yeah. And I can sit down and I can just scroll through my phone and I can see, oh, this guy's blasting me, that guy's, I'm going to blast all of them. And I'm not just going to blast, I'm going to take the gloves off here. I'm going to go completely over the edge and I'm going to fire away right from my locker stall, sitting in my locker. And this is the age we live in. it hit so fast and so hard, it exploded so quickly that the PR guy for the Cleveland Browns was able to walk straight to his locker and take hold of him and lead him out of the locker before the media could get to him. So in his uniform, he was led through a door and he went somewhere else to change clothes.
Skip, he lucky they didn't put him on a 5150.
Yeah.
I mean, when you threaten people like that, I know. The least of his problem, Skip, is being released. Now, there might be a situation where the Cleveland Police Department might want to talk to him.
Might.
Bro, look, here's the thing. And I'm sure there have been times in social media, and we've all had games, Skip. We dropped the pass, dropped the touchdown, did things. But you cannot let the emotion, that's why they say take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, Skip. Slow down, take the emotion out of it so you can be calm. To do something like this, bro, they're looking at you like, really?
Really?
You talk about threatening to kill somebody and fight somebody. You sending out your actual address and hoping somebody show up because you missed a tackle and three other guys missed a tackle also.
True. So this is so out of control that you've got. Why did he do that? Because he thinks he has no fear of the head coach. No. Obviously, no Patriot went to his locker. I'm doing the highest example, but they'd be so afraid of their coach that they wouldn't go tweet after the game from their locker and set off a firestorm because they'd know they'd be in jeopardy of losing their job.
And for me, Skip, I always thought about because we saw what AB did, because there's no threat of repercussion. We saw what Tarek Cohen did in Chicago. There was no threat of repercussion. You do things like this when there's no threat of repercussion.
That is correct.
Now, he paid the ultimate repercussion. He lost his job.
He did.
But you have to understand, because when you do things, Skip, I've never wanted to do things in my personal or professional life to leave someone else to have to explain. Because if I do something, you better believe Sterling Sharpe's going to have to offer an explanation. Cheryl Sharpe's going to have to offer an explanation for Shannon Sharpe's behavior. Well, if I do something and I'm playing Skip Bayless in FS1 is going to have to answer for my behavior. And I never want to put them in that situation. So at some point in time, bro, you got to think about someone other than you. I know you're upset. I know how it's going to come off, and they played it. Noah Fant catches the pass, goes 75 yards, you missed the tackle. Okay, I promise you, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, all the greats have missed the tackle. You're not the first, you won't be the last. So take the emotions out of it, bro. There's nothing good can come from about threatening somebody on Twitter.
There's nothing good. So now we have the two-star receivers coming out for kickoff wearing cleats that I guess the NFL had not passed on them, had not signed off on either one of them.
Skip, I went through this. Normally what happens, they say you can wear the cleats, but they need to be as close to the uniform as possible. But they only need to be two colors. I had cleats, they were patent leather. They were white, blue, and orange. The guy told me, he said, Sharpe, those are some nice cleats, but you need to cover up one of those colors, or you're not going to be able to play in those. Odell got upset about being, he was fined because his pants didn't cover his knees. Me and Aaron Glenn skipped 1 year, I got docked $80,000 for uniform.
Okay.
Odell, I get it, and I'm asking the same thing, Odell. What does my uniform, me getting hit in the thigh, have to do with the hell of my head?
Okay, I
ain't got no concussion from getting the thigh bruise. But they say,
why wasn't either told during pregame warm-ups, unless they changed cleats for kickoff? Did they have different cleats on?
A lot of guys do that. A lot of guys go out there, Skip. They show off the fancy custom cleats that they got done. You know, he had, the goat hair cleats for Tom Brady. Odell and these guys now, everything is custom. It's not good enough to have just the Nike or the Adidas cleats. I got to get custom cleats, with the cartoon figures and everything like that.
Jarvis's gold cleats with orange, I thought they were okay. I couldn't see what was really wrong with them, but who knows?
I guess they say the color was too close to the Broncos color.
Oh, maybe.
I'm like, what the hell I got to do with anything?
To wear a different color coming in, and that's why it didn't pass.
Because they were supposed to wear they ended up wearing a different color uniform.
They made a change.
But that's just the way it is, Odell.
All of these are symptoms, back to Jermaine Whitehead, symptoms of the bigger problem. And this whole team was a recipe for disaster from the start. Which brings us back to the leader and the quarterback, and to your point, you gotta give him the majority of the blame. So I loved what Tony Dungy said on NBC last night, that Baker needs to take the chip off his shoulder, that you can't, in this league, you can't have it on your shoulder every Sunday. Worked in college, Tony didn't say that, but he's saying you need to kind of hide your anger, channel your anger. Don't make it so public week after week. I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to shut you up, because you just have to go play.
Exactly.
Let it all lay. Don't fight back. Just fight back on the field.
Right.
Just take it out on the opposition. I thought that was deep, wise advice.
And moving forward, Odell and Jarvis, you need to send whatever kind of shoe you're going to wear.
Yep.
Send it to the league and get approval. Because Mike would always tell us, guys, wear the shoes, dress how I want you to come out and practice. Skip, we were the first guys. Ed McCaffrey and myself, I was first because I got it from Ricky Jackson.
Yep.
I would gut my pants. No thigh pads, no hip pads, no knee pads. We took the belt out. We had shoestrings. So basically, we had on tights, helmets, and shoulder pads.
Yep.
But the NFL says no.
I wouldn't have signed off if I'd been the NFL uniform inspector on what Odell came back out in with giant OBJ. I know it was just black and white, but it was so much a billboard for OBJ's brand.
That's he always wears those, the OBJ on the side.
But they're so big. I'd say that's a uniform violation to me. But that's just me.
Look, a lot of the rules didn't make sense. But at the end of the day, Skip, I can't. This is not something. Look, I'm not trying to fight City Hall on this one. You say okay? Guess what?
Okay.
I got the equipment guy, Skip. He got the tape. We covered up the orange. We go play. Does that make me any less of a player?
Nope.
Because Skip, I only had
agreed
the certain kinds of shoes.
I got it.
And I had practiced in them all week.
Yep.
I couldn't change to a shoe that I was unfamiliar with the day of the game. I'm not finna hurt my feet.
I got it. Bottom line. Cleveland Browns have allowed the 23rd most points, and they've scored the 25th most points. What does that add up to you? 2 and 6.
2 and 6.
Right?
2 and 6.
23rd,
and
25th.
Skip, and the quarterback that was picked, a lot of people laid money on him to win the MVP, has played one good game the entire season.
And ironically, it was a tour de force game at the team that the Patriots got cleaned out by last night.
And they cleaned them out.
True.
They did.
They beat them 40-25.
40-25, and Baker had one of those days you say, there's the first pick in the draft.
Skip, and that's why the NFL makes no sense.
And frustrating for those Browns
Patriots
fans
just
today.
wiped them out.
Yeah. And
Baltimore
by the way, Baltimore didn't take Cleveland lightly because that's a division rivalry.
No.
Right?
There's still no love lost because, the Ravens were the original Browns that ended up leaving. So there's really no love lost between those two teams.
It's almost worse knowing that they have the potential if they could just get rid of a lot of those distractions.
No mercy.
Another team that came into yesterday perhaps a bit distracted or just off. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense came to a screeching halt against the Chargers. Green Bay was shut out in the first half and only had 50 yards of total offense. Aaron Rodgers got a touchdown late in the fourth for his team's only TD of the day, and Rodgers ended up with just over 150 yards in the game as the Packers lost to the Chargers 26-11. Rodgers admitted the loss was a wake-up call. Take a listen.
This is a good slice of humble pie for us. We're kind of rolling at 7-1 and starting to, listen to the chatter maybe a little too much. So I think this will be a good thing for us. We'll regroup, go back home, and play another good team before the bye.
Shannon, how do you explain what happened
I
to
can't wait for this.
Aaron Rodgers?
I'm all ears.
The same thing that's happened to every great quarterback that's ever played this game. Pressure. And we saw it last night. And look, that's the recipe for any great quarterback. If you can get to him, Skip, and I was shocked. Actually, for me, Skip, this was a bigger shock. What the Chargers did to Aaron Rodgers was more of a shock than what Baltimore did to Tom Brady. Because I did not think, Skip, they got two premier tackles, Balaga on the right and Bakhtiari on the left. And Melvin Ingram, who just coming back, and Joey Bosa ate their lunch. They took it with 4. If you can pressure the quarterback with 4 and drop 7 in coverage, it's going to be a long day. And they were relentless.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa was relentless. Melvin Ingram was relentless. And I'm surprised at how the kind of pressure that that 4-man front could get. Skip, we sit here we know the Chargers are better. You say your record or what you say, Skip, they're better than that record. They should not have lost to Tennessee. They should fumble the ball with the third to go from they fumbled the ball in the end zone. They should have lost that. They should have lost to Detroit. This is a good football team. And sometimes Anthony Lynn had to shake things up. He ended up firing his offensive coordinator, Ken Wisenhunt. They got back. They ran the football, Skip. 38 rushes, 159 yards, 4.2 a carry. Phillip Rivers, 21 of 28. You see? He was throwing the ball 45, 50 times. My homeboy, A-Lynn, says, hey, run this thing.
Oh, he's your homeboy.
You know, A-Lynn, you know me, A-Lynn go way back.
Okay.
Yeah, we won some games together. Got him his first job in the league. So
You got him his
first job.
You're taking credit for that?
Yeah. He'll tell you. You know what happened? He gonna tell you the story. He tell the story all the time. But Skip, when you can run the ball like they ran the ball, Phillip Rivers was 21 of 28, 294, no 2 sacks. He didn't turn the ball over because, you know, Phillip Rivers had started to turn into a turnover machine himself, Skip. He was putting the ball in harm's way an awful lot. But yesterday was all about the Chargers' defense and the pressure they were able to generate on Aaron Rodgers that rendered him ineffective. Aaron throws a lot off his back foot, and he can get away with it, Skip, because he's still very accurate. But with that pressure, he skipped a couple of passes. He wasn't able to, I was like, woo! And you could see, and once, it's like anything, Skip. If, you know, you're receiving, you go across the middle and the guy tag you pretty good and you don't catch the ball, okay, yeah, they biting out here today, Jenny. Ooh, the thing go. And Ingram and Bosa, they saw they were getting to him, and they just kept coming. They kept coming. But like Aaron said, hey, it's humble pie.
Yeah.
Skip, you go on the road, you beat Dallas. You go on the road, you beat Kansas City. Even though it's out with Mahomes, they still have those weapons. You beat Minnesota. So you beat some teams. You're like, yeah, we all right. No, you're not. You're not out of the woods just yet. But Green Bay's still a good team. The Chargers are not as bad as their record would indicate, but pressure. The pressure was unrelenting, and it forced Aaron into some bad plays yesterday.
So I ask everyone to listen carefully to what I'm about to say.
Okay.
If Dak Prescott had one game remotely as bad as Aaron Rodgers had yesterday,
he did.
I would never hear the end of it.
He did, Green Bay.
No, he did not.
Yeah, 3 picks.
He threw for 463 yards in that game.
Down 31-3.
He threw for 323 in the second half of that game and
New
nearly
Orleans.
brought him all the way back from 31-3 down.
Jets.
Aaron Rodgers scored 11 total points
Your guy
yesterday.
scored 10.
It's my turn.
Okay, my bad.
Thank you.
You're right.
Aaron Rodgers had the worst QBR of any quarterback who played from Thursday night through Sunday.
Bottom.
This whole week, no quarterback remotely had as bad a QBR, except for one guy, as Aaron Rodgers. He had a 14. Mitchell Trubisky had an 18 at Philly. And we know how bad Mitchell Trubisky is. Aaron Rodgers had a worse QBR than Mitchell Trubisky. In the first half, Aaron Rodgers, the transcendent thrower of the football, says the man across from me, threw for a grand total of 35 yards. I give you pressure, but if we're talking about pressure, well, then Tom Brady gets a pass for last night because he rarely had time to step into his throws. They were all over him. And I told you, Dak Prescott took the worst beating at the Jets that I have seen a quarterback take since Brett Favre took it from Greg Williams' defense in the Bounty Bowl game in the NFC Championship game that led to that Super Bowl win for the New Orleans Saints. So this was horrendously bad. This was way worse than Dak Prescott ever thought about being. And by the way, he still leads the league.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
Huh?
Russell Wilson got it.
Did it?
Russell Wilson got it.
Oh,
379 with 5 TDs. Look it up. Russell Wilson in the catbird seat.
But guess what? Russell Wilson did it yesterday against Tampa Bay, the 31st ranked pass defense.
Oh, so now that's what so that's not what we do?
So which is it for MVP? Because you had Aaron Rodgers slightly ahead. Yes, you did.
No, I did not. No.
You were pushing. You said he's coming. He
was. But I said Russell.
He is or was. I think you just made it past him.
Russell. I said Russell is still the nod. If I had to vote today, I used to be a voter.
Yeah.
Got it right every time. But anyway, as I was saying, Russell Wilson, 22-1, and Skip, they cannot win a game. We've seen other teams win games without their quarterback playing well. We've even seen the Packers win a game without Rodgers playing well. We've seen the Patriots win a game without Rodgers playing well. I mean, without Brady playing well. They're not winning without Russ. And another thing, don't count old Lamar Jackson out either, because he up there sniffing around the MVP trophy himself.
I would let him sniff before I'd let the other two sniff. I might give him the edge right now because I still need to see Russell Wilson do it to somebody who really counts and who is really legit. Because Tampa Bay is not legit, especially with their pass defense. They're no good. He should have done what he did to them. He should have done it even earlier. He did it late, but he always does it late.
But here's the thing. But look at his defense. It wasn't like Seattle was just like the 85 Bears. He had to, Skip, he has to be spectacular or they're not winning.
Okay. So can we please stop it with the Aaron Rodgers MVP talk, please?
No.
Pretty please?
No.
Because I kept telling you.
17-1.
He
17-2.
He played the greatest game of his career against a Raiders defense that Pro Football Focus ranked going into that game dead last in the league. Really? That's all you got?
But here's the thing,
then he goes to Kansas City, and he does it against a Chiefs defense that's down 5 starters in that game.
Mm-hmm.
5 starters. Yeah. And he throws one pass that was the luckiest regular season pass in history, in which he goes, no look, sidearm, fall away. And he says, I was actually trying to hit Jimmy Graham, and he overthrew him by 10 yards. And it's a touchdown to Jamal Williams. So that's the role he was on, and it just got stopped by the Chargers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remind you, on Friday, I sat right here and I said, the Chargers will win that game. I told you that. And not only did they win it, but they exposed Aaron Rodgers as a fraudulent MVP candidate.
So, hold on.
Fraudulent.
Just so
He's tumbling in QBR.
Just for me. So is Tom Brady still an MVP candidate?
No, I never said he was.
Oh, yeah, you said he should be up there. You said he should be up there. Oh, Pro Football Focus through the first 3 weeks of the season said Tom Brady.
I didn't say it last week.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said it no weeks. Okay. But here's what I'm having a hard time understanding.
There you go, changing the subject
This is what I have a hard time understanding, is that everybody tries to minimize when a quarterback plays well. There's like, okay, yeah, but he didn't do it. He did against this team. Look at New England's defense. I've been trying to say that you can only do it against who you play. Well, they can only do it against who's playing.
Okay. So, Russell Wilson, so far, he's been really great. But now he's got 2 games left against San Francisco.
Yep.
Starting a week from tonight on Monday Night Football. That one's in San Francisco. Let's see how he does against that defense on that stage.
I tell you what he will do. He'll do better than Kyler Murray.
I thought Kyler Murray was really good.
Well, if you thought he did good, Russ going to be spectacular.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was poised to win that game, except Jimmy G ate the clock and didn't give him the ball back. He did not get last at bat.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip Bayless. When you get the ball, do something with it.
Oh, well, he was doing a whole lot in the second half. Yes, he was.
24-14. What was the final score? Wasn't he down by like 2 scores? There it is again.
28-25.
Yeah, he was down 28-14 at one point.
He was on fire in the second half, as usual. And that brings me to the last game of the season, December 29th at Seattle, is San Francisco at Seattle. So let's see. Russell Wilson has 2 big chances to say, I'm the MVP this year. Oh. Right?
Right now, it's him and Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Don't think about my man C. Mac giving work.
So you got him up there?
Oh, yeah. He has to be up there.
Oh, up there? And my man Dak Prescott gets his chance tonight.
This is it.
He hasn't had his chance. He hasn't played his, what week are we in, 8 or 9? 9. He hasn't had his week 9 chance yet.
This is it?
Yeah.
Really? Against the Giants?
Yeah. For Aaron Rodgers, it was week 9 as in W-E-A-K 9. Week 9. He was W-E-A-K. He was just weak.
Oh, you've been waiting so long
I just thought of that off my
what about
off my head.
Aaron Rodgers scored 11 points. I know a game in which your guy scored 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Caught
11 points by a transcendent thrower of the football?
The guy that's leading in QBR?
Wow.
Scored 10 points?
Well, he's still leading in QBR. He gets his chance tonight.
It's coming down. It's coming down.
No mercy. LeBron put up triple doubles in both of the Lakers' road wins over the weekend. First, he led the Lakers to an overtime win against the Mavericks on Friday, and then the King followed it up last night in a win over the Spurs. Anthony Davis quietly put up 56 total points, 19 rebounds, and 6 blocks in the 2 wins. So, Shannon, what's the biggest reason the Lakers won these 2 road games? You able to answer this one, Shannon?
Chef Goat, James serving up them old hot air, Skip. I told you, you gonna be sorry. You and everybody else that doubted my man.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Looks good, but I know you've been waiting.
What were you saying?
Yeah, and the chef. Thank you for that.
Yeah, old Chef Goat. Skip Bayless, I'll be sorry. You know what? Because everybody after the first game, he's so unathletic. Ooh, he's washed. Remember, I told you when he #Wash King. I told you, Skip Bayless, I said, you're going to eat them words. I say, y'all making decisions after one game? Hey, DJ, drop that track. Skip, now you know I don't use a call for tape. Because I hate doing that. Because I usually like for a man's, play to speak for itself. DJ, we got that track locked. because I want to show you what a washed guy, a guy that's unathletic.
You got nothing. There it is.
Oh, look at this right here. Now, this is what an unathletic, washed guy in year 17.
Oh, boy.
That's what he can't do.
That was good. That was good.
That man washed. Why is he taking it off the rim? Going 94 to do this in year 17.
Got away with a little offensive foul.
That's what I'm
little
saying.
forearm shiver. Here, I'm going to shiver you out of the way. We know he's strong.
All I keep hearing.
I didn't
Somebody
really
say,
see
I ain't
that.
gonna call no name. Kawhi does everything better than LeBron. Skip Bayless, if you don't mind me asking, who's leading the NBA in assists?
Well, Kawhi doesn't play every game. He's taking some time off.
What they got to do with me?
Yeah.
So when he played, all I know is my guy doubled him up in assists. My guy got more rebounds than he does.
Yeah.
They're shooting the exact same thing, exact same field goal percentage. But the guy washed. Kawhi does hands down. Oh, I can't believe it. You know why? A triple-dub. Nobody, the oldest man to ever have a stat line like he had. The oldest. And you think he done?
Interesting.
Him and
Tell me
Luke,
when
it's not your turn, right? And Skip, you see them thing, he would hold that pose. I thought he was in Vogue magazine. Hold that pose up there.
I like that reference.
Yaga!
When?
Just Friday.
Oh, Friday, but he was just front running. When they were up 4 in overtime?
No, whoa.
Wow, I got it.
Whoa,
It's
hold on.
clutch.
Whoa.
Look, every man,
Skip.
I'm clutch.
Skip, I'm glad you said that. Skip.
We're up 4, and I hit a 3.
I'm glad you
Can
said
you believe
Skip.
it?
Skip, did you know they scored 16 points in overtime? LeBron scored 9
me
of
when
them.
it's my turn.
It's not your turn just yet.
Yeah.
They scored 16 points, Jenny, in overtime. He had 9 of them and assisted on the 4 more. So let's see, 9, 11, to 13. So 13 of the 16 points, LeBron James stirring in the pot. Now, last night, you see, Skip, what we can do now that we couldn't do in the past, we can go get to our skyscraper lineup. Everybody can't get to that skyscraper lineup like we can. We bring in Dwight Howard, who's been a monster. Told you that's why I wanted him. That's why I wanted old Dwight Howard. Then we go to AD.
Yeah, you predicted this.
I did. I told you. See, Skip, I'm going to start with Friday night. Skip, Friday night, they went
the show over yet? I don't know.
When they went to their big lineup, they went to Porzingis, they had Doncic, and they had, I think you pronounce it, Kleber.
Kleber.
Yeah. 6'11". Skip, we had to match up with it somehow. So they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring in our skyscraper lineup. AD, Dwight Howard, and LeBron said, give me Doncic. Oh, Doncic, you want to do your thing on offense? Now, you got to come see me, because we got that pick and roll. Come see me, Doncic.
He is a liability on defense, and all the Lakers said after the game, our game plan was whoever had Doncic on him, we're going to him.
No.
Yeah.
But my guy had it. And then last night, the Spurs. Ooh, the Spurs. Oh, DeMar DeRozan averaged 32 points a game. Lamar, I told you, LaMarcus Aldridge, I told you what was going to happen. I said, you got issues with him. You got issues. He couldn't do anything with AD. Skip, y'all in trouble. 56 gonna come and get my cases. We gonna be the number 1 seed. Number 1 seed, Lakers.
You done? So, America, I want to point out that the man across from me, Shannon Sharpe, he just wore a goat mask in honor of LeBron James.
Yes.
Obviously the faux goat, the phony goat.
Goat man.
In honor of a game at San Antonio in which LeBron James, in the fourth quarter of a tight game, last night went 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line, and 3 of 6 from the free throw line. That's the GOAT, quote unquote. That's the GOAT's fourth quarter last night.
So we gonna talk about Dallas?
Interesting.
Hold on.
You know what? You close the case. Those are GOAT numbers.
No, Dallas.
Like literal GOAT numbers, like barnyard GOAT numbers.
Dallas. So
a barnyard GOAT could have done that. Seriously, a real GOAT could have done this.
Hold on, Skip. Did you know in both games, who had the highest plus minus in both games? You love plus minus because the equivalent of QBR.
That's all I care about. And for the game last night, the quote-unquote GOAT, the phony GOAT, was 0 for 6 from the three-point line and 5 of 10 from the free throw line. And the demons creeped into his psyche from the free throw line because he started changing his routine, started trying to do his step back again, and I'm starting to like my bet of 75%. He got off to a hot start, but you said 75% or better from the free throw line.
We the 82 for a minute. Now
for a minute. Here we go. LeBron's starting to doubt himself from the free throw line, and that is bad news for the Los Angeles Lakers. So before I deal with what happened to my Spurs last night in the fourth quarter, I'm going to deal with what LeBron, your man, the phony GOAT, did on Friday night. Woo! Last Laker possession of regulation with 6 seconds to go.
What did he do?
Here, can we see what he did?
Yeah.
Danny Green inbounds the ball to Avery Bradley. Oh, that we didn't get to see the first of the play.
Bang!
Ray Allen Memorial. Okay, so the ball gets inbounded to Avery Bradley, who flips it over to the left wing to your man, LeBron James. And guess what he does? Incomprehensibly, LeBron James, the quote-unquote best player on the planet, isn't that what you call it?
Yeah, what I call it.
The best player on the planet does not shoot a three because you need 3 to tie. And now it's down to maybe 3 seconds left. And, if you're the best player, Michael Jordan in his heyday or Kobe in his
Pass to
heyday.
Steve Kerr.
Hey, Kobe in his heyday. He just goes up for the shot. Did LeBron go up for the shot?
Nope.
No, he ducks under the three-point defender because obviously Dallas is going to just play the three-point line.
Yeah, exactly.
He ducks under, and I'm watching the play, and I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Exactly, yeah.
He's dribbling to the basket. I'm saying, are you going to dunk it and end the game down 1? What are you going to do? And Kleba leaves Dwight Howard and comes into the lane just to say, I don't know what you're doing, LeBron, but maybe I should act like I'm defending you. And at the last second, he kicks it into the far corner for the Ray Allen Memorial shot. At the buzzer. He barely got it off in time. Barely got it off.
Plenty time.
And he ripped it just the way Ray Allen did from the corner.
Bang, bang.
But what happened just before he got free in the corner? What happened to Seth Curry?
What happened?
Dwight Howard is out there setting a pick on that far perimeter for Danny Green, and he reaches, we could see this, and he grabs Seth Curry's jersey and holds him. He grabbed him, and the refs did not see it or call it.
Okay, they didn't see it.
How can you not call that? And then Seth Curry, he struggles, he rallies, and he leaps, and Danny Green had the presence to do a good cut fake and then take the shot. But to me, the shock of the night was that LeBron James did not try to create his own shot.
No, that's a...
Take the shot, best player on the planet.
You see what you see?
Take the shot.
As I was explaining to Azzy when he called it, asked Shannon, what do you think about the last... Who was our producer, Azzy? Great man, too.
Yeah, he's a great man.
Great man.
Yeah.
He said, Shannon, I say, Azzy, there's nothing like running plays a week or 2 weeks, have it called in the game, and it works just like you drew it up.
You cannot tell me that was the goal of that play to let Danny Green take the left shot from the corner.
Skip, hold on. Did you see?
Stop it.
Skip, stop it. Don't do that, Skip. They drew that play up just like that. Yes, they did.
Okay, so with 6 seconds left, you're going to inbounds to Avery, who's going to kick it across to LeBron on this side, the near side to us.
Yes.
And then LeBron's going to drive the basketball and kick it into the corner to Danny Green.
Because you know why?
It's crazy.
Because you know why, Skip? Guess what everybody always forget about? The guy that inbounded the pass. Remember North Carolina, Villanova? It was the guy that inbounded the pass that hit the game-winning 3.
That works with 2 seconds left. It does not work with 6 seconds left.
We got it.
Sorry.
Hey, that was...
The shock of the night is LeBron didn't have the guts to take the 3 to tie.
Don't need no guts.
Because he's not going to take that shot.
We don't need no guts to do the right thing.
The best player on the planet will not. He can't even know. He doesn't
do the right
that
thing.
shot.
We do the right thing.
The guy who's refound his athleticism, as he said after the game, I got my quick twitch back. Could you not do a step back James Harden Memorial 3-point shot from there? That's what I wanted to see.
Because that's James Harden's game. That's not our game.
Yeah.
Why not hit that thing to dead shot?
Take the shot, LeBron.
Oh, dead shot.
Show us.
Dead shot,
Show
Danny.
us what you got.
I was upset at it, too. I had called him a lot of things, too, because he had let Finney Smith in the corner for a 3. So I had called him a lot of things. But when he hit that 3, I took it all back. I said, Daddy, I take back everything I had just called you.
Nice
You see, everybody hands the ball off to LeBron.
Yep.
LeBron spins the corner, knowing that he had forgot about the inbounder.
Yep. Yep. And so Danny Green, who was the literal GOAT of Game 6 of 2013 because he did not box out LeBron.
That's unnecessary that you bring that up.
Ask Greg Popovich.
Skip, that's unnecessary.
Danny Green never quite got out of Pop's doghouse for what he did in that game.
Skip, that's unnecessary.
Never. Well, it's the truth.
You rehashed
that guy won that game for LeBron James. So that's 2 he's won for LeBron James,
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
2.
You ought to be ashamed.
Yeah.
But Skip, that was a virtuoso. Hold on. You just, the night before, Kawhi Leonard had 38 points on 32 shots with 1 assist. And you say, that's the best player on the planet.
Yep.
My guy took 9 fewer shots, had 15 more assists, shot a better percentage, and had 39 points. And you want to talk about what he didn't do.
I don't think Doncic could guard a literal GOAT, a barnyard GOAT. Seriously.
That's unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you, again, he tried to cover his idol.
Well, let me ask you a question.
He's in awe of LeBron.
You know what? We'll talk about this later.
Yep.
But Skip, the unathletic guy all of a sudden got back-to-back triple-doubles. How many triple-doubles have Kawhi ever had?
I don't really care because I'm talking about the GOAT right now.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward then to last night at San Antonio.
Fast forward, please.
Yeah, and can LeBron get any breaks after he's stinking it up in the fourth quarter and the Spurs roar back thanks to DeJounte Murray, who just went crazy in the fourth quarter last night?
They fouled too much. They got back in the game, but the Lakers kept putting him on the foul line.
DeJounte just swoops to the hoop. He makes 6 out of 7 shots. He's got 16 in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, with about 3.5 minutes to go, it's 90-90. And KCP, if we could please see this, misses a 3. And my team is going to get the rebound and give it to DeJounte again to go down and take charge in this game. And it goes up, and my guys fight, and they knock it out of bounds. And that's the end of my guys right there, because they inbounds to KCP, and here he is. He gets a little step-back 3. Boom. Here we go. That's the
No. Well, let me ask you a question, Skip. Who inbounded it?
There he is, and there's
Skip.
KCP, and that's the end of the game. He makes 2 straight shots. That was a 2, actually, in the next.
I think who that pass?
Yeah,
Who made that pass, Skip?
That's it.
Who made the pass, Skip?
So my guys fumble the ball out of bounds because the Lakers get every break so far. And I'm going to agree with you publicly. I am in huge trouble on the bet that we made about 17 and 3 over the next 20. I needed both those losses. And Danny Green cost me the first one. And last night, my guys fumbled the ball out of bounds and cost me the second.
And don't we got Chicago on Tuesday?
I guess so.
Yes.
As if it matters.
No.
Tomorrow night. The 2 and 5.
I think it's over. I think you got me. I lost.
I just want to know, how does a guy that's so unathletic, a guy that's so washed in year 17, can get the ball off the rim and go 94 and flush it? That can get you 39.
That actually didn't look very explosive to me. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
When last time you saw Kawhi do that?
Like what? Give me a possession, like every other possession, maybe?
When you ever see Kawhi do that?
Come on, stop it. That's all.
When you ever see Kawhi? When do you ever see? When does Kawhi go? Kawhi got 1 double-digit assist game. The man been in the league 8 years.
All he did last night was score 18 in the fourth quarter and bring them back against the Utah Jazz.
Hey,
let me reiterate. All your man did last night was go. Wait, let me get these stats right. He went 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. 0 for 3 from 3, 3 of 6 from the free throw line with a grand total of 5 points. So my guy scored 18 in the fourth quarter. Your guy scored 5, and he survived. Why did he survive? Because I don't know what's gotten into Dwight Howard. Where did this guy come from?
I know what got into Dwight.
He's skinny Dwight.
The LeBron James effect.
Now he's got the shocking new hairdo Dwight. I don't know, it's like a new man. Is that really? Are you sure that's Dwight?
That's Dwight Howard.
Are you sure it's not a clone?
That's the LeBron James effect.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because not only has he turned back into the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 9.
Get it out of here.
Right? He's turned into that guy, but all of a sudden the new Dwight at age, 33?
33, you're younger than Bron.
The new guy has a post-up game he never had before. He's making shots in the paint last night where I said, who is that? And why are they doing it to my team?
Cause y'all some bums.
Bums. My guy, Jakob Poeltl, he had no chance left against Dwight.
You was happy with Jakob Poeltl.
I love him.
Turtle.
Yeah. I love him.
Skip, I told you LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, I told you this for the last week.
He's been awful.
Washed.
Yeah.
That's who's washed.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan can't live up. He's just a
Whoa.
guy. But DeJounte Murray,
Skip, you say he had 16 in the fourth quarter. Tell the people at home how many he ended with. 18.
Yep.
So where were those points in the first, second, and third quarter?
Well, who had a chance to win the game at 90-all with 3 minutes left?
Y'all didn't.
Oh,
y'all
really?
never had a chance to win that game.
Okay.
You thought y'all was going to win? You funny.
Where was LeBron in the fourth quarter? For that matter, where was our man Anthony Davis? He's Mr. Disappearing Act in the fourth quarter. He goes 1 for 3 last night. What? What are you doing?
Still beat
so the
you.
two guys you say are like co-MVPs of the league. That's what you got from them in the fourth quarter. And Dwight Howard took the game over.
And now what you're starting to see, Skip, we putting people in that pick and roll. Hey, LeBron, that pocket pass, AD dunking or laying it up. And if you don't want to honor us, we'll go by you and flush on you.
Yeah.
You saw Caruso caught a body the other night. Caught Kleber. Caught him. Caught a body.
Over there.
Yep.
Caught a body. And LeBron come down and dunked on the whole team.
Yeah. All I know is I was at an event in Oklahoma City on Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm watching the score during the event, and I'm seeing Mavs are up 10 in the fourth quarter, like early in the fourth. And then I'm distracted, and we finally get back to the hotel, and I thought, the game's probably over by now. And I turn it on just in time to see the inbounds pass Avery to LeBron. And I'm standing in front of the TV, and I fall on the floor that LeBron drives the basketball. The dumbest single thing you can do in that situation.
No, it's not.
And gets away with kicking it to the corner to Danny Green.
This is why you practice.
I'm picturing
you practice. You practice. You run them. You practice plays.
Yeah.
Inbound plays.
If you drive it on a defense that is geared to stop the three-point shot, you fool it. They don't know what you're doing.
Why did they come? Why did they come? Why did they still guard the three-point line?
Kleba came because Dwight's not going to shoot a three.
You never know.
Yeah. Dwight's out there holding on to Seth Curry.
Well, say it again, Jenny.
5-game win streak. And you know what, Shannon? They didn't do that last year.
They had no business making that.
We got every business. God, that's what happened with LeBron James.
You're celebrating
Daddy.
It's a good day for you, Shannon. It's a good day.
You're in trouble, Skip Bayless.
No mercy.
Coming off their bye, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys will look to win their second straight game tonight against the Giants. There has been some concern over Ezekiel Elliott not looking as explosive this year. Zeke has only one run of 20-plus yards this season, and last year he had 11. When asked about the big plays not happening for Zeke, the Cowboys running backs coach Gary Brown said, quote, "They haven't come this year yet because Zeke's still getting into football. Not shape, but he didn't have all camp. It's different." And people have to understand he missed all of that. For anybody to think that he's just going to come in and be the same Zeke is not fair. He has to work his way in. I know it's 7 weeks and it's taking a little longer, but trust me, it'll happen. Shannon, who has the bigger game tonight? Dak or Zeke?
Skip, I expect Zeke to have a big game tonight. The Giants are 23rd in rush yards allowed. They're 11th in rush average allowed, and they've allowed the third most rushing touchdowns. So this is a recipe for Zeke to get back on track. But this notion that Zeke has dropped off a cliff, Zeke's got 400-yard games in his last 6 games. See, this notion, and people keep going back to Ohio State. Since his rookie year, Zeke has had one 40-yard run. One. In 4 years. See, what's happening, Skip Bayless, is that people see Christian McCaffrey, Skip, and it seems like every week he got a 70 or 80 or 50-yard run in his toolbox. But hold on. But that was the thing that you didn't like about Saquon. Jenny, Skip told me Saquon, he get all these little yards, 5 yards, -3, and then ping, 80 yards. Now Zeke, all Zeke does is hammer. 5, 3, -1, 8, 10.
0, -1, 0, -2.
Skip, all I know is Zeke got 4 100-yard games in his last 6 ball games.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in that?
He got 1 in garbage time.
There you go.
Yep.
Skip, why you won't get a man credit?
It's the Eagles. Yep.
Zeke is not Christian McCaffrey, the home run guy. He's not Saquon Barkley. That's not what he is. He hasn't been that since he's been in the league. You keep wanting him to be what he was at Ohio State, but 340 carries, 330 carries, that adds up.
You're forgetting his rookie year, he would catch screen passes and just take it to the house.
Yes.
He would go 60, 70 yards with a screen pass or just a little slant pass.
Yes.
And that guy is no longer with us. That guy I haven't seen, which is why I've been saying this to you for, a month now on this show. I'm not seeing the same Zeke. So The Athletic writes, before they get to the quotes from Gary Brown, the running backs coach, Elliott has not shown the burst of his younger years through 7 games this season. I've been telling you, he now looks more like Earl Campbell. Not a bad thing, just a different thing.
Right.
Earl Campbell is half fullback, half halfback.
Right.
So he will run over you as well as through you and occasionally around you, but not that often.
Right.
And Earl Campbell didn't last that long in the league.
Think about 7.
About 7 years because he just took way too much punishment. And as we all know, unfortunately, Earl has paid for that in his post-career life because it's been hard on his body, right?
Very.
Okay, so now we get back to the Gary Brown quotes. He's saying he's not talking about in shape, he's talking about in football shape. Well, 7 games is a lot of games to me. Come on. Whoever you are, you're going to be that.
Trust me. I played 14 years. If he ain't in football shape now, he ain't getting in football shape.
I totally agree. And he says, trust me, it'll happen, and I hope he's right, and I hope you're right about tonight. And he goes into the analogy, if it's like boxing, a good heavyweight boxer goes to the body. Only Tyson swung at the head all the time. Okay, I'll give you that until the end of Tyson's career, and then he was swinging at nothing, right?
Exactly.
Right? He wasn't landing anything.
Right.
But he said a lot of good boxers go to the body, and so it's to him, it's like 3-5, 3-5.
Right.
Just keep banging away.
Right.
And I like that.
Right.
I agree with that philosophy, but he doesn't have much, if any, Saquon in him. Saquon's the complete flip side
Correct.
of Zeke, because Saquon cannot do what Zeke can do to the body.
Right.
Right? Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom.
Right.
But Saquon, if you let him loose, he will be gone.
But the thing is, Skip, is that you have to understand what Zeke is. Zeke is a body puncher. Mike Tyson was a knockout artist.
Yep.
George Foreman was a knockout artist. You get guys that try to beat you down, but that's not, no, I'm trying to get you up out of there. That's what Zeke does. Zeke turned 3-yard runs into 5 yards, 5 yards into 8. You people expecting Zeke to go hit his head on the goalpost like we've seen Christian McCaffrey. It seems like every week, Skip, we're watching Christian McCaffrey take off for 50-plus yards.
Yep.
That's not what Zeke is. Since his rookie year, one run of 40-plus yards. That's all he's had.
You didn't throw in the passes, though. Passes are longer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That one situation in Pittsburgh, I think he caught the screen and went 80 yards. But Skip, but really, this is what Zeke is. Zeke is a hammer. Zeke is, now, Adrian Peterson was a hammer, but Adrian Peterson ran 4.3, Skip. And still, Adrian Peterson still can get gone. He had another 100-yard day. But Skip, when I look at Zeke, I say he's a hammer. Zeke, the longer you let him run it, 20, he starts getting good. He starts getting that 15 to 20. That 20 to 25 is where he breaks your back.
Yep.
That's where he breaks your will.
Okay. I hope that happens tonight, because I am concerned, as I've been saying on this show, it feels like the annihilation of the Eagles happened last season. That's how long this break has been. I can't even remember what happened.
And we ain't nowhere.
Yeah.
We got 5 wins. Y'all got 4.
Yep.
So what happens if y'all lose tonight? Who in the front, who in the back?
We're in 4-3. What are you?
We got 5 wins.
Okay. And you got how many losses?
4.
Oh, thank you.
But if y'all lose, who gonna be in the front and who be in the back, Skip?
Y'all aren't going to lose. Y'all aren't going to lose.
You hear that, Giants?
Yeah.
That's bulletin board material, what you
Well,
talking.
I'm just matter of fact about that, but my team needs to start fast the way it did against Philadelphia. And I don't know how fast you can start if the rust kicks in right out of the gate. And what happened the last time? What happened the last time they were in this stadium? What happened?
Yeah.
Help me out. The Jets happened, right? You remember that?
Hold on. I know you ain't talking about the Jets that just lost to Miami.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I know.
It was simply the single most embarrassing loss of this entire NFL season.
Say it again.
That Sunday.
Say it again.
I just
embarrassing.
Said, okay.
I'm embarrassed for you.
It was a slow start by the defense that day.
Oh, not the defense.
Well, obviously it was, because that guy Sam Darnold that now they're saying might be a bust. He had his career day against the Dallas Cowboy defense.
And look at the defense. Look at the Giants. Look at the Jets defense that couldn't stop Miami. Miami done gave away all their best players. Kenny Steele, Kenyon Drake, Laramie Tunsil. They giving them all away. It just ran right through the Jets defense. A defense that y'all can only get 22.
So when we last saw my Dallas Cowboys, what did you see, Mr. Sharpe? You saw a tour de force. You saw every reason why they could get to the Super Bowl.
I saw a team got 4 turnovers. That's what I saw.
Really? I saw 37-10 Dallas over the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw Carson Wentz, W-I-N-C-E, as in ouch.
You won't see that again. I bet you won't see that again.
I'll bet I will.
I bet you won't.
So that team came out hot that day, that Cowboy team, and just jumped all over the Eagles from the start, went up 14-0 right away. It was 27-7.
Turnovers, and back-to-back turnovers.
Okay, well, that's forced. Those are called forced. Those are created. Those are called takeaways.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Kind of like what Dak did against Green Bay. Forced takeaways.
Yeah, when you hit the guy right there in the...
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
So I would like to think you're right about Zeke, and I'll take 50-50 that it'll be both their, they'll have like a co-star night. But as you say, the Giants are 23rd against the run, but they are 25th stopping the pass. So you can sort of pick your poison here, and I think that the least poisonous would be for Dak just to throw it. And I think
well, you
he's going to
subject
have
yourself
a
to
big
you subject
night.
yourself to getting back there and somebody hitting your quarterback in the back of his head. Just hand it off, run the football, Skip, and just let the play actions open up everything else. Because Jack is very good at play action.
Yeah. So I think Dak's going to have a big night, but I also think Daniel Jones could have a pretty good night against a defense that probably will be without Leighton Vander Esch. Sounds like Wolf Hunter still got head issues from the Eagles.
Well, with all that talent you got Quinn, you got D-Law, you got Jalen Smith.
Michael Bennett
now. So now I don't want to hear nothing, Skip. I don't want to hear about no Vander Esch.
Still got Sean Lee, so maybe he can take up the slack.
And Vander, look, as much as I like Vander Esch too, he's not Luke Kuechly. Okay, he's not Bobby Wagner, so stop.
I'll give you that. But he can run.
He can.
And he can cover.
He's been missing a lot of tackles.
He has.
Skip.
I would agree. But the guy who's starting to rise and shine is the other young guy, Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
And I expect on Monday Night Football for him to have a big game. And I do expect my Cowboys to beat the Giants.
I sure hope for your sake.
Yeah.
I had a superfecta this week. I got the Ravens one, and Braun got two of them things. I got a superfecta.
Really?
Feeling good.
Superfecta? Braun had little to do with that.
No, Skip, stop that. Will you stop saying that?
They won in spite of him last night, for sure.
Really?
But it's okay. Dwight
Really?
covered for him.
Really?
Really.
Dwight
so
covered.
who you got winning tonight? Come on.
Real.
Oh, really? You want me to take the
Well, have
Giants?
some guts.
No.
Huh? Have the courage of your convictions. No?
We're going to beat the Bulls on tomorrow night, I'll tell you that for sure.
All right. Well, so now you're changing the topic to LeBron.
I'm not taking no Giants with Daniel Jones, really?
Well, there we go.
Okay,
Thank you.
we're going to get back to it later.
But Philly got something for you guys. You just keep winning. You just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to have to see us.
We will.
Sooner or later, Skip Bayless, you're going to have to deal with those walking tours.
Yep.
No mercy.
The New England defense was on a historic pace this season until they met Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, who literally ran all over them. Baltimore had over 200 yards on the ground, including 2 rushing touchdowns from Lamar. The Ravens QB also had 163 yards through the air and a passing touchdown on the way to a 37-20 win. And after the game, Ravens tight end Mark Andrews said Lamar is no doubt the league's MVP. Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick now joining us. So good to have you here for this topic. So when you look at Lamar last night and that performance, how impressed were you?
I was so impressed. After watching the first drive, I actually knew what the game was going to look like for the remainder of the game. Like, nothing was going to change about the game plan. So in tune, so in sync, poised, calm, and leading up to the game, pregame, hearing him talk about what he was going to do with the approach. Already told me that he was super confident in the game plan and his abilities and what he was going to do. Everything reflected what he said. He went out there and he basically showed us that this position has changed because of him. The offense has changed because of him. And that offense that he's in and what they're building, it's not going to stop. It's going to continue to get better and better. And, come postseason, this is going to be a team that's going to be really hard to stop because what they're doing now, they're not going to do 5 or 6 weeks from now. They're only going to continue to evolve and get concepts from wherever they come from. And I'm just excited because I just continue to hear John Harbaugh utter the words that Lamar is smart. That means they can, change the game plan each and every week, throw in different plays and give them different options. And he understands what they're trying to do. If you understand what needs to be done, it's no way that you can go out and not execute it, Skip.
He was great. And it just goes to show you, Skip, because you're like, well, everybody wants convention. Everybody wants the Brady. They want the Drew Brees. But John Harbaugh says, screw that. I'm tired of trying to find a guy.
Change.
Let's find a guy and build a system because this guy is so athletic. Skip, he threw the ball for 3,000 yards in college. He ran for 1,500. So he has some change. He might not ever be as accurate as Drew Brees. So what? But you look at where he is now. His completion percentage is up 6%. He went from 28th in QBR last year. He's 6th in the NFL now. Wow. And when you can run the football, Skip, is the thing that works well for them is that they always stay ahead of the sticks. As long as you can stay in third and manageable, you don't need to be that 3rd and 15, 3rd and 18, but that 3rd and 3. 3rd and 5, the threat of him running or to him throwing the ball. I saw him throw the football, and Skip and I go back to this again. When I was at the Hall of Fame in August, talking to Ozzie Newsome, who's the longtime general manager, that was his last first-round draft pick. Remember, they traded back up to get this kid. Ozzie said, boy, he's better than you think. he's ahead of where we even thought he would be throwing the football. I said, don't bulljive me. He said, boy, I'm telling you, Skip, he's ahead of where I thought he would be. And I said, Skip, with his running skills, if he can throw the ball slightly better than what he threw it last year, you're in for somebody's going to be in for a long season. And the thing is, Mike, you watch him, you were a running quarterback, he's slithery. But when he put his foot in the dirt,
he gone.
And jumped through a window, Skip, he gone. Skip, you can say, okay, if he does this against somebody that's not thought of as a mastermind, he did this in Belichick defense.
He did.
And you know Coach Belichick always tries to take away A. Baltimore's A is running the football. They went for 210. So clearly he couldn't take A away. And for him to do what he did, man, this was special. He was special last night.
This is amazing.
He's just keep growing. He's growing. He's getting more and more confident. I love the way he get up there and talk. He makes them like, hey, I let one get away. He threw a pass to Mark Ingram. He knew that's me. That's me. I come back. This kid, Skip, and that we had this discussion, I think about 3 weeks ago. I say, Skip, if you're not careful, he's going to be the best quarterback in that draft class. And he's right now. It's hard to argue. He's going to get some MVP. He's going to get some MVP votes. He played unbelievable last night. That was his best. This might have been his best grade. Yeah, Skip, he had bigger numbers against Miami, yada, yada. But on that stage, a night game, Sunday night against that team, this is his best performance thus far.
It was. So I'm going to try to put last night in big historical perspective because it was a very special milestone night in my view. In 1976, a long time ago, I was working right here for the Los Angeles Times, and they sent me for a whole week to hang out with and do a long story on a quarterback at Grambling named Doug Williams.
Okay.
You know Doug Williams?
Know him well.
And he was very special to me, and I got to know him very well under Coach Eddie Robinson, all-time great. And I called a couple of GMs to get their take on him because he was a senior about to be drafted. Did end up going to Tampa, as you recall. But one of the GMs said, don't use my name with this, but black quarterbacks just don't have the mental capacity to make it in our league, which was more of a white league at that point, especially when it came to quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
And Doug Williams became the first black quarterback, obviously, to win a Super Bowl. And what I saw last night, to your point, was a Lamar Jackson who was operating on an extremely high mental capacity level. He was seeing it and reading it and dealing with it on the fly in ways that just took my breath away a couple times, where he was out Belichicking Belichick. He saw it before it happened, and he constantly picked the right guy to throw it to. Now, look, is he the prettiest thrower of the football we've ever seen? No, he is not.
No.
Does he have your arm strength that you had? He does not have you. You had a flat-out, absolute cannon. Is he as smooth a thrower of the football as you were? He is not that. But does it work at the highest level? Yes, it does.
Efficient.
And to your point, put your foot in the ground and go. Listen, he isn't just quick and fast, but he runs with authority, man. He's running with power. I was looking at his neck last night up on the podium.
You see
He's got that big neck, man.
I'm looking at his stature, and I kind of compare myself to him, and he's a little bigger.
He's just,
you know, at first I thought his frame was
willowy.
It was
interesting.
I don't know.
But it just looks like he's physically fit to do what he's doing. And, you know, you talk about the passing game real quick. It's like when he runs, I get that part. We're accustomed to seeing it. We know Lamar can run. But when he passed the football and every completion that he complete, I'm like, that's progress. That's progression. That's progression towards the future.
Can we see one play if we have it? It's a 3rd and 5 play, late third quarter from their 42. This is 3rd and 5. And Belichick, I think it was Steve Belichick, throws a zero blitz look at him where it's just cover zero.
Andrews on 7.
And he hits Andrews against the safety. And I said, what a sweet, quick throw against, they're all out blitzing. There's no safety.
He recognized
it.
Okay? He saw it immediately. Who's hot? Mark Andrews, who's about, how tall is Mark? 6'5"-ish or so?
He's a big dude,
Throw it to Mark Andrews on the safety, and he put it right where he needed to put it. That is a big-time game-continuing completion where it just kept
And the ball comes out of his hands, Skip. I don't know if you noticed it, Mike. The ball comes out of his hands really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are times that, they had rushes in his place. He dropped down 3/4. Changed his arm angle.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to see the evolution of a guy that understands how to play the quarterback position.
Right.
He's special.
Hey,
He's special.
Doesn't put the ball in harm's way, protect the football,
Sure.
and to his credit, and don't want to jinx this guy in any way. I'm, once again, comparing myself to him. I put the ball on the ground a lot.
Yeah.
I got touched. He don't fumble.
Nope, we're not
Don't
seeing
cough it up.
And
Protects the football. That's
Skip,
so
you see,
important.
they run that quarterback that quarterback ISO where he'll start one way and he'll come back, and you're like, well, okay, that's for 2 yards. And next thing you know, he's got 12.
Yeah.
How did he get through that? I mean, that was the same,
Slithery.
and they did the same thing against Seattle. Skip, remember, they had him mic'd up, and it's like, and John Harbaugh's like, you want to go for them first? They like, yeah, coach, let's go for it. Come on, guys, let's get back out there. They ran the exact same play.
They did.
And he stuck his foot in his left foot, and he came back, and he's through there. They're so quick.
By the way, late in the third quarter, on 4th down, they go 4th and 4 because they trust him to make the right choice and the right throw.
And he threw it when he threw the sneeze.
Yeah, and boom, here we go. Here's the 4th down play.
I just appreciate.
Okay, that's big time now.
Yes.
This is a big play in this football game. Whew.
Once again, it all boils down to the offense that's been built around Lamar.
Yes.
Lamar's going to continue to play with an edge because he was the last quarterback in that draft,
Yep. Yeah.
taken in the first round.
Yep.
And that adds fuel to the fire. And whatever it takes to bring out the greatness in you, you gotta take it and run with it. And I think he's going to continue to progress and, hopefully stay healthy, and we'll be treated to some good football from a guy who I consider the X factor right now for a long, long time.
Yep.
The Skip, Ozzie trading back up to get him. But the biggest thing is when John Harbaugh fired Martin Morningwig and hired Greg Roman.
Yeah.
Because Greg Roman had great success running this offense with Colin Kaepernick.
Sure.
And Cap took 49ers. He was the quarterback, and like you said, he was the throwaway from winning the Super Bowl.
He was.
And here he has Skip, it's amazing feeling, because when I was Jim Fossil was my offensive coordinator in 93 and 94. When you have a guy, he says, I'm going to build my offense around you, the tight end, which was unheard of back then, Skip.
It was.
They built this offense especially for him.
They did.
And he said, you know what? I'm going to repay you tenfold. You had enough to come up in the draft and put me in the first round, and now you got me and you put an offense around. You say, this is mine. This is me. Nobody else can do this. Man, that's an unbelievable feeling. I can imagine how this kid feels. He's only going to get better. They got Cincinnati this week. Don't have a slip up.
Winless.
That's the one thing you skip, because we see teams come off emotional highs, wins, and then they have a letdown, and a team that's over should go ahead and don't give them any reason to be in the game after the second quarter.
Take care of your business.
Yep. What they're doing is revolutionary. I've never seen anything like this.
It's revolutionary.
Especially this late, because what is it, Skip? It's over. That running style quarterback, that Harbaugh, that what they had in San Francisco, nobody's going to run. You need to drop back. Okay, you need a guy that can, as long as he doesn't put the ball in harm's way and throw the ball well enough. You don't have to see this notion that everybody needs to be Tom Brady or Drew Brees. That's what's getting general managers and head coaches fired. Skip, those are generational players. Those are once in a lifetime players. You don't just oh yeah, he reminds me. Let me go get him. No, you better find a guy that can fit. Get you a guy that can fit your system, and you can work with that. Because you keep trying to find Tom Brady, you're gonna go belly up.
Yeah.
What a last hurrah for Ozzie.
Oh,
Send him out with a bang, huh?
He's on pace right now, Michael. He could break your QB rush yard records. How do you feel about that, knowing that it could be broken?
Listen, I'm going to be the first one to congratulate him, and it's exciting to see. I mean, I love watching this guy do what he does every Sunday, and I'm going to continue to watch him, wake up excited to watch him do it every week.
It's a good sign.
I love it.
It's amazing. Amazing for the game of football.
No mercy.
Okay, following the Browns' 24-19 loss to the Broncos yesterday, Browns safety Jermaine Whitehead lashed out on Twitter multiple times. Whitehead threatened people who were critical of his play, and the threats also included racial slurs and explicit language throughout. Whitehead's account has since been suspended by Twitter, and the Browns issued a statement saying that his posts were unacceptable and highly inappropriate. And then, guys, this morning, the Browns did release Whitehead. So, Shannon, what message will this send the team?
Skip, the Browns had no choice. He put them in a situation they had no choice. This was the only option. There was no other option. There was no other talking to. There was no option other than this. Skip, I get it. You get frustrated and you're like, hey, you wouldn't say this to my face. But when you threaten violence, you threaten to kill somebody, really, bro? I mean, is that you let someone on Twitter talk you out of $500,000 or $1 million job because you missed a tackle and the guy ran for a touchdown. And so what? Guess what? You missed a tackle, the guy got a touchdown, you still gonna collect your check today. That's the way you gotta look at it. That's the only way you can stay positive, Skip, sometimes in situations like this. Because that's the only bright light. And say, you know what? I missed this tackle, but it won't happen again. But it just goes to show you, Skip, normally when a guy reacts like this, there's something bigger going on within the four walls of that locker room.
That is true.
Yeah. This is not just all of a sudden you just like because somebody said you were a bum on Twitter or you missed a tackle. It's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else fool you. I spent 14 years in the locker room, and I understand when guys get to a point where they want to do this, they want to fight, they want to lash out, it's more than what's going on on the field of play. Now, they wanted Freddie because I guess over the last half, Skip, he called a great game. And
last year.
Freddie Kitchens, who he was the running back coach when they cleaned house and fired Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley. He was elevated to the offensive coordinator. Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator, but he had already also been a head coach. He got elevated to head coach. Well, obviously, when the quarterback plays well, Baker signed off on this. If Baker says, no, I want Greg Williams to be my coach, Greg Williams has been the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. But, Skip, this is when a guy will go on Twitter, and this is grown men, so it's kind of hard to tell a grown man what to do. But normally, if you have respect for your head coach, the threat of what could possibly happen if you were to do something like this. See, in New England, you don't have this because they know Coach Belichick will get your ass up out of there quickly. It ain't no, well, I can talk to the GM or ain't no circumventing Coach Belichick's authority. You act a fool, he shows you the door. It's as simple as that. That's how it was with Mike. Mike Shannon, my coach, you act a fool, you got up out of there. It wasn't but one way to do things, Skip. This was
How about your first coach, Dan Reeves?
You know
Reeves, man.
Look here.
No.
Ultimate mistake.
Dan Reeves was old school. He played for Coach Tom Landry. He was the offensive coordinator under Coach Landry. And so you didn't, Coach Reeves didn't boot BS.
Nope.
But this is the way it has to be. These kids, Skip, they getting out of control with this. It's Twitter and this IG, they want clicks and likes, and they getting out of pocket with a lot of this stuff they tweeting.
I mean, social media to me has its pros and cons, and it depends on how you use it.
Yes.
It's to your avail, but the message that I think a lot of these guys try to convey, clearly in this situation, his message was clear, and it was just totally out of character. I couldn't believe what I was reading. But to put yourself in that situation when you have an opportunity of a lifetime that you'll look back, 2 months from now and say, what did I just do? I blew my opportunity.
2 hours.
I worked hard my entire life
know.
to let my little social media campaign or whatever I was trying to get across affect everything that I worked hard for. You got to watch your language. You got to watch your work. This is football. This is the game that you're supposed to love. Even if you come off the field on Sundays after a loss and you got beat over the top 6 times and you, got ran over 5 times. Okay, just get better next week. Who cares if so? Yeah, somebody is going to talk about you and they're going to criticize you, and rightfully so. You make it right.
Before you go, Skip, how many people on Twitter, any social media platform, that will tweet an athlete or celebrity that would trade places in a New York minute with that celebrity or that athlete?
I mean.
So that's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like this.
I think you're right.
I guarantee you, I'm trash. I just gave up a 75-yard touchdown. But I guarantee you'll trade places with me today for that opportunity to get run over on an NFL field or to be an actor in a movie. The movie might have been terrible, but you trade places with me.
To put a uniform on.
For sure.
Jermaine Whitehead was on his 4th team in 5 years. He was undrafted out of Auburn, and he was the starting free safety for the Cleveland Browns, who used to be, just a couple of months ago, the IT team in the National Football League, right? The chic pick to win the division and make big noise in the playoffs.
I picked him.
You picked him. Baker Mayfield, did you? Okay. Baker Mayfield, kind of an early pick to be MVP, right?
Caesar said the heavy money was coming in on to be MVP.
Okay. And it's come to this. And Jermaine Whitehead was expendable because I don't think he's a great player, obviously, and wasn't really doing much for them.
Right.
So I assume it was John Dorsey's call to the GM to say, I got to send some message back to the locker room. This will not be tolerated. But Freddie Kitchens has tried to come across as the ultimate players coach, defending the players at every turn. You be you. Just be you. And all that matters is what we say to each other. Those are the only opinions that matter. And all of a sudden, you've got a team that has just spun completely out of control because it's a bunch of solo acts trying to be a football team. And you guys know football only works when you're like that. Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Because your success, when you guys got on rolls, the team was together.
Right.
It's the ultimate unity sport to me, and this is the ultimate me team. And it starts with Odell, me. It goes to Jarvis, it goes to Baker. Just weird behavior. I'm going to say it again on Baker yesterday. And again, he shoulders much of the blame here, even though I think he's been a victim of what the sort of the culture that Freddie has started. Freddie is completely in over his head, and yet Baker's acting weirder and weirder by the week because he shows up with a full beard and mustache yesterday, and for kickoff, he shaves a big part of it but leaves the goatee and the mustache.
If he pull a Bob, remember Bobby Valentine? He got kicked out of the game, and then he showed back up in the dugout.
He put it on, but that was fake, and this was real hair, so he shaved it down with this.
Well, he didn't think we recognized it. I showed up with a beard, Skip, and I got the beard gone.
Then after the game, but he shaved down the mustache to just a little mustache.
He got a Charlie Chaplin going on now.
He put on some bizarre oversized trench coat like, you guys won't, you don't even know who I am. Yeah, we know exactly who.
Skip, I had a coach once told me, say, son, if I let you be you get cut, I get fired. Freddie Kitchens, that's what happens. When you let the players be themselves, when you don't have rules and regulate, and that's the thing. And I've had some coaches, Skip, they were great men. But they let the players do whatever. If you want to be overweight, be overweight. If you want to be late, be late. Just play on Sunday.
No.
It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work like that.
You got to earn that right to be called the players coach. You got to earn. You got to come in and you got to solidify your position.
Yes.
You got to be stern. You got to win football games, and you got to gain respect before you can be called the players coach.
We be out there stretching. We be out there stretching, and guys will still be straggling on the field.
Yeah. What is that?
When Mike got there.
Andy Reid would have never allowed us.
Man, I wish you would.
Yet Andy was seen
as
a
players coach.
Yes.
Andy's a
Mike was a players coach.
He's a players coach,
but
Andy Reid? Okay.
I still believe at the end of the day, players want discipline. Players want structure.
That's true.
They like the
Skip, I don't want to be in my seat and the coach talking and guys coming in. Hell, my time is valuable too. I wanted to get a couple of extra minutes of sleep, but I found a way to make it on time.
I got it.
You need to make it on time too.
So poor Jermaine Whitehead is a victim of all this culture and a symptom of everything that's wrong because he thought it was just fine to go straight to his locker and sit in the stall and look at. They can't say this about me. Watch this. Boom, 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 boom.
In the locker room, Skip, he couldn't even wait till he get to the bus or the plane. He did it from the locker room.
Still in his uniform. And in the age we live in, the news travels, the bad news travels so fast that the PR guy walked straight over to him, took him by the arm and said, you've got to leave here because we don't want the media to ask you about what you just tweeted. So in uniform, he's led out of the locker room to dress elsewhere.
That's a mess.
And he is no longer a Cleveland Brown.
That is an absolute mess, unfortunately.
Somebody put him in a situation that cost him $500,000 or a meal.
And it speaks to more going on in that locker room, which is the problem for them. Michael, good to have you.
No mercy.
The Patriots defense was on a historic pace before giving up 37 points to the Ravens last night. According to the Boston Herald, the mystery of who has been calling defensive plays has been solved. In the preseason, it was linebackers coach Gerard Mayo, but once the regular season came around, Bill Belichick's son and secondary coach Steve Belichick took over the play calling duties. So, Shannon, should Bill Belichick take any heat for letting his son call the defense?
No, because he didn't take any heat for the first 8 games when they was on this historic pace. And Skip, this is what normally happens. If you have what people think are a great offense or a great defense, and it struggles, what's the first thing? Is this the right man for the job? They said that when Freddie K was making all them calls last year, Freddie K was good. Skip, Mike Shanahan went through the same thing when he was in Washington. Kyle Shanahan was calling the plays. Kyle Shanahan was probably 31, 32 years of age. Kyle got his first offensive coordinator job at 28 when he was calling plays for the Houston Texans under Gary Kubiak, who got his start up under Mike Shanahan. And I get the nepotism thing, Skip, but at the end of the day, can you do the job? How old is Sean McVay? Should Sean McVay be calling plays, Skip, at 31, 32 years of age?
This year, that becomes questionable. Go ahead.
No, he still do.
That's a good point.
No, it's just because Seattle's playing out of their mind. Look, he's been in the organization for like 7, 8 years. He was an assistant, and then the last couple of years, he's been the safeties coach.
Yep.
And so there's a gradual progression, and most guys, Eric Mangini started that way, Josh McDaniels started that way. Normally, Skip, they don't bring guys from the outside and give them titles. They promote from within. And so this seems to me like a promotion from within. But I can get it. You know, they had been giving up average 14 points a game. They've shut out a couple of teams. And then you give up 30 last night. So for me, no one should be concerned. Coach, I trust Coach Belichick. And you didn't have concerns when they were shutting people out, when they was averaging giving up 6 points a game. Nobody raised an alarm. But now they give up 30 in one game, and now everybody's concerned. So no one should be concerned.
Here's why I think they should be concerned is because Belichick tried to slip his son into the coordinator position and the play caller position under the radar. He did not own it the way Mike Shanahan owned. Kyle Shanahan is the coordinator.
Right.
He's going to call plays.
Okay.
And I don't know why from camp forward he just didn't say, because he is Bill Belichick.
Right. Just say it.
Just say it. Just say, my son Steve, he's ready. He's ready for this position.
And even if he's not ready, so what?
Okay.
True.
If I got Skip, it's like anything. If a coach hires a coach or player, who takes the blame? The head coach. You brought him in, so you hired that OC. You hired that DC, so you got to wear it. So if he hires his son, you're the D coordinator, and it doesn't go well, Coach Belichick, you got to own it.
Okay.
It's simple.
Now he's the stealth coordinator because not until CBS's game a week ago did they start to focus on him on the sideline and slow it down a little bit to say, is he speaking? It looks like he's covering his mouth and speaking when it's time to call the defensive signal,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So it's really only been 2 weeks of this. And finally, the Boston Herald this past Friday wrote a big story. Looks like he's the guy.
Right.
And quoted some of the players. Oh, he's been great for us because they were riding high.
Right.
But the 2 games that we know he called plays for and coordinated were the Cleveland game and now the Baltimore game.
Right.
And I got to tell you, the defense got gashed on the ground in both games.
Right.
They got away with it against Cleveland because they won, 27-13.
Right.
And yet, all of a sudden, Nick Chubb was running wild. He got 130-something, and they had 159 total.
And they gave that, Coach Belichick gave that lame excuse. Well, I give him like 4 or 5 plays, and sometimes the players.
Yeah,
Skip,
he was giving an excuse like he was letting them call the plays.
No, they're not.
Really?
You know, sometimes, Skip, if the play don't get called in, the defensive captain is like, okay, we're going to play this, let's go ahead and play this coverage here and move on. But as far as just like, okay, we got 5 or 6 options, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
and Coach Belichick, who wants control over everything, is going to give up control?
I think it was about 3 weeks ago that Steve was asked, how much are you contributing to play calling? He said, not at all. And it looked like Gerard Mayo was the new coordinator during camp, during the early season. It looked like he was calling the defense. So I don't know if Gerard's real happy about this.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. The difference is Steve has been in the organization for like 8 years. This is Gerard Mayo's first year as an assistant coach.
Okay. No, that's true. He's fast-tracked up.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They're about the same. I think Gerard's 33 to his 32.
Right.
Steve Belichick.
Right.
But now you got all kinds of new bye-week soap opera because we also heard last week Bill Belichick say, well, that thing that I said about I'm not going to coach into my 70s, he took it back last week and said, well, now that I'm closer to that age, I may go forward. And then what did Al Michaels say on the you don't listen to sound, so you should hear this. Al Michaels last night said this about Tom Brady. Can we hear that, please?
Brady, 42 years old. You know, he said he wants to play until he's 45. Told us last night, you know what? I feel good enough to play 5 more years. We'll see.
5 more years. So all of a sudden, in fact, I predicted this last week off the Belichick. I said, watch Brady up his ante.
They're going to go back.
So now it's
47 now.
47. So Belichick's saying, I'm going to coach into my 70s. And Tom says, well, check this. I'm going to play until I'm 47 now.
Coach Belichick said, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I'll be here till I'm 80. And they're going to keep going. And pretty soon you're going to have an 80-year-old head coach and a 60-year-old quarterback.
60-year-old quarterback still vying for authority,
exactly.
For control of the franchise.
But I think that, Skip, look, this happens. Skip, we know how this works. Okay. Gary Kubiak I played with Kub as a player. He was my offensive coordinator. He got his start under Mike Shannon.
He was just a backup quarterback.
He was just a backup quarterback, yeah. Okay. Kyle's on his staff. You don't think that was a favor? That's how it works. I mean, you think, I had no idea who that guy was. Most of these coaches, Skip, That's why they get recirculated, because they know somebody that knows somebody.
That is true.
I don't have any problem with listen, Coach Belichick's resume should not be questioned when it comes to hiring coaches, because they seem to get the job. Now, they don't have the same success once they leave there, because, Coach Belichick and Tom Brady doesn't get to come along with them. Mm-hmm. But as far as that, I don't have a problem, because you look at Brian Flores, you look at all these guys that happen.
So just for the record, Steve, if you want to know his background, he played lacrosse at Rutgers, but he also walked onto the football team and became the long snapper. So that's his football background.
Right.
But then he's a chip off the Belichick block.
Right.
And by the way, there's another younger Belichick son, Brian, on the same staff.
Sure.
So you can argue about the nepotism. He's got 2 fast-track.
Well, what they should have argued about with Bill O'Brien when he demoted Romeo Cornell, promoted Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel gets a job to go to Tennessee, and then they re-promote Romeo Cornell. That's what you should be upset about, not what Coach Belichick's doing with his son.
Well, this will be questioned in Patriot Nation.
Of course.
After that performance.
No mercy.
Well, the Clippers were down 4. And Kawhi Leonard only had 12 points through 3 quarters against the Jazz yesterday. Kawhi then went on to drop 18 points in the fourth quarter to lead the Clippers to an 11-point win. And after the game, Doc Rivers clarified some previously made comments about Kawhi and Michael Jordan, saying that he was mostly referring to their body types. So, Shannon, do you see any comparison between Kawhi and MJ?
No, well, stop saying, Skip. Michael Jordan, in his prime, was 6'6", 195. Kawhi Leonard is 6'7", 230.
Yeah.
That's like saying, well, Ed Too Tall Jones and Calais Campbell are the same. Just because they're tall, that doesn't mean they're the same type. Stop.
I think in 98, that last year in Chicago, I think he's more 215-ish.
Maybe 205, Skip. Now, maybe 215-ish in Washington.
Maybe.
Maybe 220.
For different reasons?
Maybe 220 in Washington. Yeah. Skip, look. You can't just say because the man got big hands, okay, Jordan. Really? Skip, did you do? You know what, look. I say LeBron the GOAT, but people just forget. People just need to go YouTube clips and see how many things that guy did that reminds them of Kawhi. Or what Kawhi's doing that reminds them of Jordan. Kawhi can't fly through the air. Kawhi was not taking the guys. Michael was going to the hole, dunking on folks. His first 7-8 years, Michael was going to the hole. Kawhi get a fast break and he'll put it in his left hand and dunk. No, Michael was dunking on Tree Rollins. Michael was dunking on whomever.
Yeah.
Trimmer, Melvin Turpin. When he was in Utah, Skip, he dunked on John Stockton, and the guy said, well, dunk on somebody your own size. Where he jumps on Melvin Turpin, they call him the Trimmer. He's like, what about him? He big enough for you?
Yep.
No, stop it. Kawhi is not nothing. And you know it, too. If you're going to be honest, Skip Bayless, if you're going to be honest today, be honest.
You know, this is the first time ever that I do not find it complete blasphemy to compare at least a small part of one player's game to Michael Jordan. And that small part is the claw's ability to one-hand the ball.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And go up and hang, because he can be an explosive leaper.
Yes.
And hang and shoot that little one-handed 8, 10, 12-foot jump shot and just nail it like clockwork. And that's what he was doing in large part to Utah last night, because he just took over the game in the fourth quarter and scored 18 points, and he made 2 straight threes that just broke the game open.
Oh, so what we're gonna do about Trez? And we gonna talk about Trez?
Well, obviously, he's got a really good team. It's better than the Lakers right now. Wait until Paul George comes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Y'all 5-2. What's our record? What's our record?
Well, it should be something.
No, it should. Louis, Skip, look. I get it. So, I mean, if when someone says Kobe, yes. Kobe Bryant, I mean, from the footwork to the getting to the paint, the fall away, oh, yes, that's all MJ. Now Kawhi Leonard, he gets the ball, he holds it out there like Joe, because he has humongous hands.
He does.
Yeah.
And now he reminds me of Jordan.
But guess what? Doc's original comments about how he was Jordan-esque, Jordan-like, that's why Kawhi signed with the Clippers, because he was he was in awe that Doc would say that about him.
So we should have lied to him.
Guess what? It cost Doc a bunch of money because he got fined for those.
So we should have lied to him.
Yep, you should have lied to him.
We should have lied. Hey, Kawhi, you Jordan.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, we will give you 23.
Yep. There you
Stop
go.
it, Skip
Well.
Bayless. You know good well that man don't remind nobody of no Jordan.
Boy, he looked pretty Jordan-esque in the fourth quarter. I don't know. I'm still not convinced about his ability to make the last second shot, the shot of the game. Not sold on that yet. But man, when he gets Paul George back, you are.
I'm trying to figure out how does a guy that scored and he had the third plus minus on his own team. Jermichael Green was 30. Trez Harrell was plus 24.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that. Now,
Fourth quarter.
We got to move on from this,
the last
guys.
two games,
Fourth
Braun
quarter took it over.
15 plus 15.
Wow.
Enough of the
LeBron did.
comparison for
LeBron
now.
disappeared last night in the fourth quarter, and Kawhi took it over.
No mercy.
According to Fox Bet, the Cowboys are 7-point road favorites against the Giants tonight. New York is looking to get revenge from their 35-17 Week 1 loss to Dallas. So, Shannon, what will the score be tonight?
31-13.
31.
Cowboys are the better football team. The Giants starting a rookie quarterback. He's had some starts, but he's still a rookie, and he makes mistakes. They turn the ball over too much, and Dallas will capitalize on those. I don't think the Giants are a very good football team. And I noticed I hadn't heard Sherman and the general manager pumping their chest about that pick they selected, Skip.
I think you just tried to jinx my Dallas
Oh, my
Cowboys, because
goodness.
every time you pick some kind of blowout, it becomes a close game, or it might go the other way, because you picked the Cowboys to annihilate the Jets that day, right?
I did.
For the last time they were in this stadium.
Yeah.
So I will point out that spread has actually just been bet down to 6.5.
Oh, I just checked.
Just
Wow,
now.
that's
Just
crazy.
checked before I walked up
Seriously.
here.
Huh.
And all of a sudden, the bettors are jumping on the home team, the Giants. And again, my team, I think it hadn't played now. Is it a month since they haven't
Feels
Whatever.
like a
you know,
month. Feels
and
like
so
a
they're
year.
going to have to shake off some early rust. They'll probably have a slow start. I'm not going to be surprised if Daniel Jones throws for about 300 and maybe a couple tubs, and that this is a much closer game than you might think. So I'm going to go. Listen, I would take a 1-point win tonight against a division rival on the road on Monday Night Football.
Giants are a bad football team, and you know it.
I don't know that.
You
So
do know that.
I'm going to go Cowboys 28-24, a relatively close game, and I will be hugely relieved if they win by 1 point.
I sure hope I better wear
Yeah.
my chef hat tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? That was
Are
impressive.
you going to wear it
I don't know
again
where
tomorrow?
that was.
Well, you better pray your Cowboys win,
Yeah.
or you will see it again.
Your jinx attempt
Shut
just
up.
failed because I just unjinxed it by acknowledging
Will
it.
we see him again tomorrow? That is it for us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.